Good morning, Lowlives. It's your boy Rhino back with another majestic episode of the Lowlife podcast. I am joined in the live in the flesh with my boy, Fish Tank Whiskey.
What's up, Lowlives?
Been a minute since you've been on the pod, dude.
Yeah, it's been over a year.
Over a year. So last time we had you on the pod, it was... You just finished up War Turkey? No.
I had just done the faux hammer, the gray bike with the gold wheels. Yeah. So it's been a minute because I rode the hell out of that bike this past season.
Yeah.
So
yeah, the War Turkey got an upgrade, right? I think.
Yeah.
New paint, new front end.
Yeah. We did the new paint on the tank, and then that Springer that I picked up from you.
Yeah.
And just when you think a bike is done, it's never done.
It could always be better.
Could always be better, improved upon.
Yeah. I mean, that's the fun of it.
Yeah. I mean, it's nice because, like, you do something like that to a bike, like, call it a facelift.
Yeah.
It's like kind of like a new bike again. It brings some excitement back into something that you haven't touched,
But that was your first Springer too, right?
Yeah, that was my first Springer.
How do you like it compared to hydraulic front end?
I like it a lot. I like watching it move. It's pretty cool. Like when you're going down the road, because you don't really like see your hydraulic front end like compressing as you're like putting down the road. So it's kind of cool to see like the springs compress and stuff like that, and
kind of undulates too.
Yeah.
It's not like even. It's not like straight up and down. It's
yeah. It's got a lot of movement to it. I was intimidated at first because of just how much moving parts are on it. You're always worried about like one of like the castle nuts backing off or something like that. But once you kind of like just stop worrying about it, like it's not that big of a deal. Like you just kind of forget about it and hammer down the road. And the weight's not much really heavier than a hydraulic front end. So
right. Well, yeah, filled with fluid. The castle nuts did back off that Springer for me.
I know. I'm still running that same.
But I put cotter pins in it and Loctite, and that fucking shit should never move again.
No, it's not. I constantly watch them too. Like I'm always kind of like at every stop, I kind of like peer over my bars or like under my bars, just kind of like counting castle nuts, because I'm just like,
cotter pin's still in there.
I'm comfortable, but I'm not like a little precaution.
Yeah, actually, I think there is one that doesn't have a cotter pin in it. Because I got it at the hardware store.
Yeah, it's not shallow enough. Yeah. It's too deep.
It was too deep.
So the castles like don't get low enough to put the pin through that hole.
And I was like, yeah, I'll fucking fix that later.
Yeah, I put a little like Sharpie dot on it, so if the Sharpie dot's facing me, I know it's not backed off. I look down and that Sharpie dot's moved at all, then I'm like, okay, gotta tighten it up.
I do that, yeah. I do that only on the front end, but I compulsively look at it. Like whenever I on the wheel, I just put the little smiley. I do the little smiley faces pointing toward me.
Yeah, I've done the smiley faces on the front ends before,
and they never move. But I constantly look at them. It's kind of like when I'm riding and I'm constantly checking if my wallet's falling out.
Yeah,
it's never happened to me.
I know. I do that with like my phone and stuff like that. And whenever like you come to a stop, I always just kind of do like a quick pocket check. All right, I got everything. I'm good.
Yeah, dude.
Because like if your bike's not rattling apart, like you're rattling apart.
Something's falling off that fucking bike.
Yeah.
You have to you have to give a fucking sacrifice to the road.
Something. Once in a while, you need to lose something apart or
wallet, passport.
Yeah.
Anything will satiate the road's hunger, just as long as it was important to you for your safety.
Hell yeah. Yeah. The War Turkey was my first Sportster build, and I had it running as is for many a year. And just this last year, I did the Springer and then the new paint job on the same tank. Dan just did his amazing work he does and brought it, brought brought some life back into the bike, and I can't not like just stare at that paint job. Like even now, I remember I called him up when I was putting the bike back together. I put I had everything set up, the springer and everything like that, and the last piece of the puzzle was the tank. And I put the tank on, and I turned around real quick and walked back to my my workbench, and I turned around and I saw like the bike as a whole with that tank, with that ribbon groovy paint job he did, and I like out loud I was like, holy shit. And I called up Dan, and I'm like, dude, like I knew it was good.
I love that
by
ribbon
itself.
Dude, that was the first time I've seen him do that style.
Yeah.
And it looks so fucking good. I'm like, that should be your signature thing.
Yeah, that's definitely my favorite tank that he's done, and I own it, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, dude.
But yeah, I think I told him like to smoke a joint or something when he was like trying to do the do the design, and it just he knocked it out of the park. I mean, I didn't have to order any more paint. He had like all the paint colors, like that color palette you see in the ribbons and stuff. It's what he had. And I think we started off with like maybe 5 or 6 colors, and then we got it down to I think like the 4 colors that are like the primary of those swirls and stuff. So, I just looked out big time with what he had available, that it all worked together. Because
it's amazing because as we found out last week, he's fucking colorblind.
Yeah, dude, it was so and he told me that, like, I feel like he told me that years ago, and I just kind of forgot.
It's a funny thing for a painter to be colorblind.
Well, I mean, who was it? Was it like Beethoven that was deaf or some shit, or I don't know.
One of those fucking guys.
Just
yeah, he's like Beethoven or Mozart.
It was Mozart.
Yeah,
it was Mozart. Mozart was deaf.
Dan's the Mozart of paint.
He is, dude.
He can't see any of the colors. He just feels the vibe.
Yeah.
Lays it down.
It's like the Matrix, dude.
Dude, yeah, so
War Turkey came out great.
War Turkey is done for now, and you're moving on to other projects.
Yeah. So I've been picking away at my shovel head for like better part of 2 years now. So that's hopefully gonna come to fruition at some point.
Been longer than that, dude.
I don't want to talk about it.
Because me and you got them at the same time, and we're like,
shovelhead bros. And then now you don't even have your shovelhead anymore. Like, it's been that long. So it's tough. It's tough because, like, even when I'm dedicated to a build, and I haven't been dedicated to the shovel, but even with that dedication, it takes me a couple years to get a bike together, because it's funny for something that, like a chopper that's like stripped down to nothing with bare minimum wires, it's funny how much time it actually takes to build these things, and I don't go in the garage every day. I get out there when I can. And sometimes when I can, it's only like an hour. There's been times where I've spent more time, I think I'm going to get a bunch of work done, but I ended up just like cleaning and organizing like parts and tools. By the time I'm done with that, it's like 11:30. I'm like, oh shit, I didn't even pick up a wrench tonight, and I'm gonna, go inside and get ready for bed. So
ready for next time though.
That's why these things take a minute. And then between work and family, like if you look at my Instagram, it looks like my life is only motorcycles, when in reality it's only like 10%. Maybe, at most. Like in my head, it's definitely like 95% of my thoughts are on motorcycles and choppers, but the reality of life is, it's not as big as a part of my life as, like, I guess social media would let on, and I'm definitely okay with that, because there's more to life than just like motorcycles and building them and stuff. But it's nice to have it when you need it. It's nice to be able to do something like that, when the time presents itself.
Yeah.
But it's definitely not like cranking out, hours of work every night and stuff like that.
You got let's say you get good night's sleep. You get 8 hours of sleep a night. You go to work for 8 hours a day at least. It's like, that's 2/3 of your fucking life gone, you know?
Yeah.
And then you got to get all the other shit you have to do, like all the fucking errands you got to run. You got to fucking go grocery shopping. You got to do this and that. You got kids. You got birthday parties. You got fucking family obligations. And then you have like this much time left to do building bikes, but you also want to have fun. So you also have to ride bikes. You also have to hang out with your buds, you know? Like, yeah, it's a struggle. It's nice to be able to, like, you can, if you have like a day where you have like an 8-hour block and you're just like, I'm going to get this done.
Yeah.
You can probably get half of it done.
There's been days where like I've committed like an entire morning. Like I go into work like an hour or two late because after I like drop the kids off, you know, at school and, you know, daycares and stuff, the wife's at work. I'm home alone. I got no distractions. And it's now 8-9 o'clock in the morning, so I can make all the noise I want. I can run all the grinders, you know, like. Oh,
right, yeah, because your garage is attached to that.
Yeah, I have a condo with an attached garage, which is perfect. I do daydream about having like a standalone house where I like have a yard and I can like have a fire pit and mini bike track and all the good stuff that comes with it. But at the same time, like, I don't pay for my roof. I don't pay for my snow cleanup. I don't, you know, I don't have to lift a finger to mow my lawn. So, you know, there's
got to take the crunchy with the smooth.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember when I bought the place, it wasn't exactly what I had in mind for a first house. And my boss kind of put it in perspective. He's like, dude, you're king of the castle now, man. He's like, you like to wrench on the bikes on the weekend and stuff? He's like, so do I. But on my day off, I spent the majority of the day like chopping wood and cleaning up sticks and raking my yard. And then I had to mow the front. By the time I was done, I didn't want to do shit, you know? And then I was like, it's true. Yeah, I do get some more garage time with the condo living.
Yeah, dude, I haven't been wrenching on my bikes. I've been fucking on forums about how to install shit pipe.
Yeah. You know? Yeah, I know. Like I was saying though, like if I'm not wrenching on a bike and I'm in the garage to clean up, reorganize. I can't wait until these next 2 bikes are done because I want to do a complete like
overhaul.
Not so much an overhaul, just like a gutting, like a sanitization of everything. Because like I get in that mindset of like, oh, I have this like coffee can full of washers, and I'm paranoid that if I throw out that coffee can or dump it in the scrap metal bin at the dump, one of those washers is going to be the washer I needed for like my shovel case or something. I'm just like, oh fuck. But they're everywhere. I got like just all this hardware lying around, just extra parts that I thought I was going to use, but I don't want to get rid of because I think I'm going to use later, you know, like caliper brackets and primary covers, and it's just stuff that just like clutters up. And when you're working out of when you're trying to like build bikes out of like a single bay garage, that stuff really takes up room over time. So yeah, I think when these 2 bikes are done, like I'm going to take the bikes out and I'm just going to gut my whole garage.
Yeah.
And just like kind of like start fresh. Because, you know, some of those parts have been sitting there like, you know, 3-4 years. I haven't touched them, but I'm terrified to get rid of them.
Yeah. It happens too. Cause I'm the type of dude, I throw it out. I'm like, dude, I haven't fucking touched this shit. I throw it in the garbage, dude. I threw out a perfectly working toaster out of my house because I didn't toast for a long time.
Yeah.
And as soon as you do it, like you have someone over and they're like, where's your fucking toaster?
I know. You need it
immediately after you throw it out.
I didn't throw it out, but like we had one of those Keurig coffee makers, and we have a little single cup Mr. Coffee maker at home. And, you know, Kate brought this thing home and I thought it was cool because I've been thinking about getting one. Didn't use it, didn't touch it for a month. It just sat in the same spot. Took it to work and put a free sticker on it.
Oh, there you go.
Like, we're not going to use this. Like, we already make our iced coffees with this one machine. We don't need another coffee maker.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, it just sat there for a month, you know, and like I said, I got parts that have been sitting for for years, you
Yep.
know, but God forbid you put it on Facebook,
Oh my God.
$30-$40, come take it. You know, no one wants it.
Yeah.
And then as soon as I like get rid of it, someone comes, hey man, you still have that fucking banana caliper?
Yeah.
No, I don't. It's gone.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah. Having a clean garage, like, just puts you in the fucking mindset to get shit done. You know, like,
Yeah.
I can't get, dude, my garage right now is the worst it's ever been. Have you ever seen my garage look like that before? It's fucking everything everywhere.
When you used to vapor home on the regular and it was like your main gig, your main side gig, your garage was like
pristine.
Yeah. You could run a deli out of there. It was so sanitary.
Oh, yeah.
Like it was
That's
crazy.
how I like it.
And I get really discouraged if I go in my garage and my workbench is just a fucking disaster. And like I gotta like scoop hardware and parts aside just to put my coffee down.
Yeah.
And it's like, fuck, like, you know, but as soon as I like clean up and organize, it just, you know, I'll work out there and then it's just a mess again. And, you know, but even putting in some elbow grease out in the garage just to kind of clean it up a little bit, like can kind of put me in like a better mood.
Oh yeah, dude, when all your tools are exactly where you need them, like they're put away and you do a job and you're like, you just grab what you need, you know exactly. Dude, there's nothing more fucking frustrating than being like, where the fuck is that socket? You know, it's like, it's on my like welding table for some reason because I did something fucking stupid with it. It's like, it makes it not fun, you know? I like it. So I'm the same way, dude. I'll clean the garage first and then I'll dive into it. And then I'm also very messy when I work. So like, as soon as I do a job, it's fucked up again. Yeah.
Yeah. But you start off with zero and then, you know, like if you're working out there, it's going to get messy, but that's part of it. Yeah. You know, sockets and wrenches all over the place.
Dude, some people like, they don't give a fuck, dude. And you can't literally walk, you know, you're like stepping over shit. And it's like, I can't get anything done.
Yeah. Sometimes my garage turns into like a catch-all for all the things in the house that aren't wanted. Bags of something, boxes of this or whatever. And it's like, well, I don't want to deal with it in the house. I'll just put it in the garage. And, you know, I'm guilty of doing it. My wife's guilty of doing it, you know. So I'm constantly battling that too, you know, and it's like one box out of place in the garage can turn it into like, I got to step over something now. And it can happen that quick. Like right now, it's like, not that it's a bad thing, but it's like all the Christmas presents. We got a lot of Christmas presents out there right now. It's really not taking up a lot of room.
Damn, but you're ahead of the game, bro.
My wife is ahead of the game. I am behind the game.
I usually buy shit like the week of.
Yeah.
For everybody I know.
Well, there's always like a few little gifts or here and there that we'll get at the last minute, but we wanted to, well, especially my wife, she wanted to be on this like months ago, but money's tight, you know, things happen. So, but she's like the, she's the go-getter when it comes to all the Christmas stuff for the kids and stuff. She has like the lists all done out.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude. Yeah, I'm not like that at all. I'm not built that way. I haven't thought about Christmas once.
I think about it, and then like next thing I know, it's December 20th, and I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah, dude, this is going to drop on fucking Black Friday.
I know. Yeah, that's right. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Fish, what are you thankful for?
I'm thankful for friendship and my family and choppers. Yeah. Was I supposed to say Jesus or something?
Nice.
No, okay.
I'm thankful for choppers as well.
Yeah.
I'm thankful that God blessed me with a 12-inch cock.
That sounds like a burden, actually. 12-inch cock.
I wouldn't know what to do with the thing.
Yeah.
You'd have to get like special jeans made.
I was going to say,
sheath.
You're going to have to like tuck it.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah. Or, I mean, it would have to be pretty much 12 inches flaccid because to get that thing erect, dude, like you would lose all the blood. Your like left arm would go numb.
I was gonna say your toes go numb.
Yeah, you'd like fucking pass out, get a head rush.
Your blood pressure goes through the roof.
That's too big. Too beaucoup.
Too beaucoup.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wish I had those problems.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. I'd have I think if it was 12 inches, a foot long, I think I'd be fucking. I have a different attitude about things.
A little more cocky, would you say?
Yeah. But no, I have plenty of blood in my system. The other thing I was going to ask you about was the lime time.
Yeah,
that's a big project that you undertook. So that was your first chopper, your Triumph chopper.
Yep,
is getting a complete fucking overhaul.
Right down to the frame and then back up again. So that project started off as me wanting to replace the rear fender. And then I thought that was it. I was like, I want to run a narrower fender on this bike. And then that transformed into back down to frame, all new paint, new bars, tank, seat, new fender. I got my fender out of it. And then a new sissy, or I actually never had a sissy bar. And that's what I was really kind of leaning towards with the new fender was doing a sissy bar for it. Because when I first put that bike together, I didn't like sissy bars. I thought they were like cheesy as fuck.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't like them. I thought they were kind of like gaudy and dumb. And, you know.
Live and learn.
Well, over time, I realized that a sissy bar is really another, like, I don't know how to put it. It's like another focal point for a chopper of like creativity and uniqueness. Like you can make a sissy bar be plain Jane if that's what the vibe of the bike is, or you can have a sissy bar that, you know, has a little bit more to it, you know, to add to the bike build. You know,
it could be the focal point of the bike.
Like, yeah, it absolutely
people
could
put
be
like stained glass in it, or fucking...
yeah. So when I realized that the sissy bar was, you know, was something to be, you know, used as like another outlet for creativity, you know, that coupled with the utilitarian aspect of it, being able to strap backpacks to it or something like that if you're going out for a weekend or something, you know, that's when I really started liking sissy bars. And I want to say it happened really quick. Like I don't know, like the catalyst for it or when it happened, but all of a sudden I just woke up one day and I was like, sissy bars are the shit. And I want every bike that I build to have a sissy bar.
Yeah, it's funny too because it doesn't have like another name. I've never heard anybody call it like a backrest or a fucking passenger. Like it's a sissy bar.
Sissy bar.
Yeah.
There's only sissies need it, you know, if they're riding on the road or whatever. If you have a
chopper, it's like, how do you fucking transport shit? Like you get a 12-pack or fucking, if you have to, I like the look of like no sissy bar too.
Some bikes look great without
They look
them.
awesome.
I'm not saying every bike has them,
it
but
looks like you're going to slide right off the back, but also it's like, hey, strap shit down.
For my bikes now, like any bikes in the future, there is going to be some level of a sissy bar because it's part of my little like check the block of like what I want my chopper to have. But yeah, being able to strap stuff to it is nice. And then, you know,
if you have a passenger.
If you have a passenger, well, no one rides on the back of my bikes except my wife. Yeah. And my wife will not get on a rigid. So I don't even have passenger pegs on my shit. So anything in the form of a rear seat is just there for like aesthetics, basically.
Dude, those girls that get on the back of those sport bikes, no sissy bar, obviously.
Yeah. That's
fucking nuts, dude.
And yeah, usually it's like tits against back, leaned on their man. But I've seen them riding down the road hauling ass. Like these girls are just hanging on for dear life. It scares the shit out of me, but they're having a blast. And I know they are. I used to have
trust your man, I guess.
I used to have sport bikes when I first got into bikes. Well, when I first got my first bike, so I'll say. Been into bikes since I was like, you know, it's like a crawl.
A wee boy.
A wee boy. I grew up around like the Harley people.
Who was it? A family thing?
Yeah, I would say probably, my mom, she grew up running around on Ironheads, and she crashed hers, and that was it for her. She stopped riding, but
fuck.
Her boyfriend that I grew up calling dad for like, probably the first 10 years of my life, he had a Harley. All his friends had Harleys. We lived in Raymond, New Hampshire, which is like very densely like biker populated. Like the whole Raymond, Epping, basically all that area in New Hampshire out towards the seacoast. There's like probably more riders out there per capita than anywhere else in the state.
Oh shit.
So yeah, he had a Harley, and then all his friends had Harleys. So we had a house in Raymond, and every weekend it was like just a party at my house, and all the guys would be over with their bikes, and we had a dirt driveway, so they'd be like doing fucking dirt burnouts and shit. And
Sick.
I'm just like this little kid, just wide-eyed, soaking it all in, and it was your typical kind of like, motley crew of people, and there was always like, Marshall Tucker band and Skinner blasting on the stereo in the house. My mom's in the house with the other women cooking, and everyone's out in the yard wrenching or fucking sneaking me sips of their fucking Bud Heavies and stuff.
This explains a lot about you, because like hanging out with Fish, he's like a chill ass dude. He's like the chillest dude. And then all of a sudden you'll be at a bike show at the Unicorn Ranch, and he's fucking sending a goddamn mini bike through a bonfire.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck?
I have these like moments of like, I don't know, like adolescent built up like energy. I just have to get out once in a while. It's like Monday through Friday I'm helping old ladies across the street, paying my taxes, using my turn signal in my truck, and then we go out on the weekend and I get to like just not care. Like care enough to get home, but like just have fun, like all my bikes are, illegal, and like,
yep.
It's like that balance of like, oh, I'm doing the right thing in life, but I have this one thing where I'm just like
a little itch needs to be scratched.
You just gotta send a mini bike over a fire.
Yeah, you gotta do like, it's exhilarating every once in a while to do something fucking reckless and stupid. No matter how old you get, it's like,
yeah,
I still have that urge. Like I love the fact that I riding dirty everywhere.
Yeah,
I like having a beer in the car. Like, fuck you, And then definitely when we're cutting loose on motorcycles and shit, dude, we're fucking ripping, fucking like passing people at 80 miles an hour. Like, that's the fun of it.
Yeah. It's like
you can still do whatever the fuck you want to do if nobody catches you. And even if they do, fuck it. See you in court, bitch.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm that crazy, but
dude, you fucking haul ass.
I ride fast. I do. And I love it.
Yeah.
Because riding.
Do you get a lot of speeding tickets on the bike?
No, because I'm just careful about where I go. Before we started the podcast, we were talking about like our favorite towns where we like to ride. And there's always those towns where you just know where you got to chill it out.
Yeah.
Coming into this one area. Like in, if anyone really took out the book, if I ever got pulled over and someone took out the book on my bike, they'd realize like, wow, like this thing does not meet any safety standards of like, there's no inspection sticker, no front brake, no turn signal. I mean, the way a chopper should be. But I'm also, there's a time and a place, I'm definitely not doing like anything crazy like around where I live, in my neighborhood, or even my town. I'm just putting down the road. I'm not doing anything to like draw attention to myself. Unless I feel like I'm safe here and I can do this, like when we're out somewhere, like, back roads or whatever. And, like that ride we did up 114, that nice like foliage trip we did, met with Josh at the restaurant, dude. Like that called for it. We were all together. We were doing. I don't want to say we were riding dangerously, because we weren't. Like, we were riding all within our abilities, and we were going fast. It wasn't anything like, horrible.
Yeah.
There's a time and a place.
Casual crimes, dude.
Casual crimes.
Yeah, we're very casual people.
We
just like to.
Victimless crime.
Yeah, victim. You're the only victim if you get hurt on a motorcycle, really, right?
For the most part. More often than not.
I've never heard of a guy on a motorcycle crashing into a car and killing anybody.
That
true. Motherfucker's always dead.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you're definitely taking your life in your own hands when you're on a bike that is 100% like DOT compliant.
Yeah.
When you're on a chopper, everything, the stakes have been risen, and then you're doing 80 on it.
You're on like your front tire's questionable.
Yeah.
You're trying to remember if you put Loctite on the fucking this bolt and that bolt. Well, and you're just like 80 miles an hour past some fucking poor fucking grandmother in a Prius.
Well, like I said, it's like doing dangerous stuff safely. Because I would never push my bikes to that limit if I didn't think that they could take it.
Oh, yeah.
I would never ride like that if I wasn't 100% confident in my neck bearing torque and my rear axle being where it should be. A little chain flop, maybe it has a little flat spot when you got it wide open. Now, that's one thing. But like, if I really didn't think my bikes were safe enough to do it, I wouldn't, because I got a family to go home to. I want to get home. I don't want to get hurt. You know what I mean? So yeah, I have my limits too, like, but like I said, like you gotta like kind of weigh it out. I'm not going to jump my chopper over a fire pit, but I'll,
I mean, my advice to, like when you're riding in a group or whatever, you just ride your own ride. Like, if you're not comfortable doing whatever the group is doing, just fucking chill, like they're not going to ditch you,
No.
You'll catch up to them at the next gas station or at the fucking restaurant or whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll call you a pussy, but who fucking cares, Like, you live to ride another day.
Yeah.
So, and nobody, and honestly, if you're boys, like, a little gentle ribbing is okay,
Yeah.
But it is fun to fucking go out and tear it up with dudes that just don't give a fuck. Like, it's fun to fucking ride fast down windy back roads and shit.
Yeah.
Like, on sketchy ass jobbers, fucking exhilarating.
It is exhilarating. I remember one time I was leaving work, and I was leaving work at the same time my boss was leaving. And at the time, he had this like hopped up SNS Evo FXR. And this bike was pretty fucking nice.
Dude, that's the dangerous thing, is riding with dudes with actually nice bikes.
Yeah.
On a chopper.
Well, I was on my O2 Sporty at the time, and it had still a swing arm, but it had like the 8-over front end with those like little tiny Z bars.
The Jade.
Yeah. Dude, we hit the Hooksett toll booths, like getting down to there. Not Hooksett, the Bedford tolls, like heading down south. And man, I had my bike opened up, and we were hauling ass, and we were racing each other. It turned into just us like pushing each other to the limit. And eventually I broke off because my home came sooner than he does. And I got home, and I was, I texted him. I'm like, dude, that was wild. That was awesome. It was like, hey, because I don't have a Speedo. I was like, how fast were we going coming through there? And he was like, when I looked down, we were about 105.
Holy fuck, yeah.
And I'm like, hell yeah.
Yes.
Like, my daily riding consists of like mostly speed limit. I'm not doing anything crazy. Once in a while, I just let it out. And, like I said, if I didn't think I could handle a bike at that speed with like a long front end, or if I felt like my bike wouldn't be able to take it, I wouldn't do it, So it's like,
you can't trust yourself, dude.
A little bit of trust, a little bit of hope, like, but it's just, we don't ride motorcycles because they're safe,
Yeah. Purposefully make them unsafe.
Well, we make them unsafe. The average rider, likes that freedom of, just nothing else around you, So we've just taken that and bumped it up to the next level of taking all safety precautions out of these things.
Yep.
But riding a motorcycle in general, whether it's like a brand new Street Glide off the showroom floor with ABS, navigation. I mean, these new ones.
It's wild to have ABS on a bike.
Dude, these new ones now, if your gas tank gets low, when your gas tank gets low, and it gets to like right around the reserve level, there'll be a notification that pops up on the screen that says like, oh, low fuel detected. Would you like to find the nearest gas station? And you click
the screen
on the radio.
What the fuck?
And you're like, oh, yes. And it just like whatever you're blasting on the radio, it stays on, but it just switches right over to navigation, and the nearest gas stations pop up, and you just pick the one you want, and boop, reroutes you to the nearest gas station. And
wow,
kind of takes the fun out of it. But
yeah, dude,
but just the comparison, that riding that bike is still dangerous, like.
Mm-hmm.
So whether it's
if it has navigation or ABS or not, it depends on who's fucking operating it, right?
Well, it depends on who's operating, and it depends on what happens during the day. Like there's places I don't like to ride because people don't pay attention. Like
Rhode Island.
I was just gonna say, like, just in our cities alone, like in our, people don't pay attention. I do like a lot of lane filtering when I go to work in Manchester. So I'm not so much lane splitting, but like at a stoplight or in traffic, I'm in between two cars, or at least like off to the side.
Yeah.
So the person behind me
impede the flow of traffic.
I'm not impeding the flow of traffic.
Yeah.
But the person behind me who's got their head looking down on their phone,
they don't even know what's happening.
And they think they're good, and next thing you know, they're bumping into the person in front of them. I'm not in between them, so. I've done that,
Yep. Oh, yeah, that's true, too. Yeah, people like, oh, it's a red light. I got a couple of seconds to get plugged back in. They're just...
Oh, yeah. They're bad, too. And if there's any hesitation on them, like the person in front of me or beside me, I've ridden right around them. I got no horn. I can't beep at them. Can't give them a little toot-toot. So they got like 0.5 milliseconds to hit the gas. If that light's still green, nope. I'm right around them, and I'm fucking hauling ass too, because usually about that time they're next to you, and they're just like looking down at their phone. They're like, oh, and then they go, and now you're riding tandem where you shouldn't be riding next to a car.
Yeah.
So if I do make that decision to fucking go around them, I'm fucking hammering.
Dude, every
down.
light I'm taking off like it's a drag race.
Yeah.
I'm just like, this thing can accelerate so far. I can get 0 to fucking 50 in like a second. And you're in your fucking, your Tesla.
One of my bikes doesn't do that.
Oh, which one?
War Turkey.
It doesn't.
No, because it's got a fucked up transmission where if I'm in first gear and like it's, green light, go time. If I'm in first gear and I go to like shift into second, it wants to stay in neutral. It goes to neutral and just will not come out until like the third or seventh like click. So I'm sitting there just like pulling clutch until finally it's in second. But by then I'm like on the side of the road basically, because
right.
So a lot of times when I'm riding that bike, I start off in second gear.
Yeah, my shovel I couldn't like every once in a while like I couldn't get it into first, so I just got in the habit of taking off in second.
Yeah,
that's and you get going pretty quick.
Yeah. Yeah, it's only a 4-speed, so the gear ratio is not too bad.
Yeah, and what year is that one?
It's an 86.
An 86, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. We just had someone reach out and was like, I think it was on YouTube, and they were like, what's the deal with the 4-speed, I think there's a year range. I think it's like
it was
88 or 92 or something.
It was like 86 to 90.
86 to 90, okay.
Was 4-speed transmissions, and that's a carryover from the Ironhead days. So...
Is it are they like susceptible to transmission issues that year range?
From what I could tell in my experience, they're susceptible to charging issues.
Charging issue. Okay.
Yeah. So they they seem to have a weaker charging system or a less reliable charging system.
Yeah.
And I don't know, because after that year, when they moved to the 5-speed transmissions, the stator coil went from being mounted around the clutch hub and the main shaft for the transmission to forward to the flywheel. So it got a better charge out of that. And I don't know if that has to do with the fact that, like, maybe the rotations from the flywheel are better than the rotations from the transmission charging the bike. Because, I mean, that's all it's doing is, you know, if anyone doesn't know how the stator works, it's just a bunch of copper wires wrapped around, you know, into these like little coils, and it stays stationary. And then there's a strip of magnets on the outside that rotates around, and then that's how you create your AC voltage. So when they moved that, I guess, assembly to the flywheel, I think that it made a better charge. I don't know why they did it, but my bike has always had a charging issue. And then, you know, then you run the argument of, well, 5 gears is obviously better than 4, and it's like that. You know, that's true. I think I've heard some people say on the contrary to that it doesn't matter because the 5th gear is the same gear ratio as your 4th gear. So it's just the 2nd and 3rd gear ratios. You don't really have like a lot of wiggle room, and that's how I've been told. But I definitely noticed a difference when I'm in 5th gear versus like my 4-speed, like my 5-speed versus my 4-speed. It just seems to handle, you know, lower RPMs at highway speed better. You know, even though I've read and I've been told that 4th gear ratio is the same as 5th gear ratio. It's just that your in between gears are just ratioed out differently. But I don't think it really matters.
It's fucking nerd shit. Fucking math, dude.
I hate when I'm riding and I'm like behind someone and I can't pass them. Or I'm like in the shitty spot where I can't pass them, and I'm in between 3rd and 4th gear.
Mm-hmm.
4th gear is too like high, and I'm like bogging down the road. And then when I switch down to 3rd gear, my fucking motorcycle's screaming.
Yeah,
like it wants to like shift me, bitch. And I'm like, can't. If I shift, I'm gonna go faster. I'm gonna be in the back of this car.
Yeah.
If I go to 4th, keep those RPMs like right at that sweet spot of riding, I'm gonna be fucking slowing down, getting further away from the car. And it's like, so there's always those scenarios. It usually happens a lot going like up hills.
Yep.
Fucking miss me.
It's always, you're always stuck behind some slowpoke, Maroke.
Yeah, on the way out here.
Fucking forever, dude.
It's a 40 and this guy's doing 25 with this long ass trailer because he can't drive for shit.
That's one thing I will not abide is like slow people on the road. It's like, there's a fucking shoulder, kid. Pull over.
Yeah.
You know? And it happens to me all the time. I live on this road.
Yeah.
Motherfuckers go 10 miles an hour.
Yeah.
But they pull over. Dude, like at least once a day.
Yeah.
They're just like, you can go around me. I'm not in a rush. You
ro-
obviously are.
This road is treacherous too, where you live too. This road has taken a lot of cars.
Yeah.
That hairpoint turn up at the top where it's like a hairpoint turn that drops 20 feet.
No
like
guardrails.
No guardrails.
Loose dirt.
My high school buddy, my boy Dan, he was driving from Pat's Peak to Hillsboro, and he hit that. I don't know how fast he was going, but he went airborne. He wrapped his Chevy Beretta around one of the trees. A Beretta, dog. Around one of the trees off the road. And he was like, he's fine. Like, he's fine. Like, you know, bumps and bruises, like, didn't get killed. But he didn't really, because you know how it drops?
Mm-hmm.
Well, where he went off the road, it hadn't dropped yet. So he slid sideways off the road, hit the tree. He went to go get out of the car, and he dropped 10 feet because the car had wrapped around the tree 10 feet in the air and stayed there.
Yeah.
luckily he slid into a passenger side and like, yeah, but the car was suspended 10 feet off the ground.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. In the wintertime too?
No, it was like summer, dude.
I know, but like in the wintertime,
yeah.
Fucking forget about it.
Yeah. I love coming out here on my bike because I love riding my chopper down a dirt road. There's nothing better, because when I was first learning how to ride motorcycles, my mom was like, we lived in dirt roads, and she's like, perfect. Like, you learn how to ride a motorcycle, you learn how to ride two wheels on a dirt road.
Yeah,
you can ride anywhere, and it's true. It's true. If you know how to control your bike, you know, going normal speeds on dirt roads, then then there's nothing that a paved road can throw at you that won't surprise you. You know, it was funny too, because like when we did that big ride out to Deadbeat, it was a very mixed grill of riders that we had. We had new riders, you know, seasoned riders, but then we had people who never like ridden on dirt roads. And when we left here, you could tell who knew how to ride on dirt roads and who hadn't.
One of them was the guy that lives on a fucking dirt road. Yeah, some people, like, I come out here and on this road, dude, I can do 40.
I can do 40, 45 down your road easily.
And it's fun, but I mean, your rear tire's slipping. The only place I do slow down is on that fucking turn. Yeah. I go right to the top of the hill, almost stopped, and then I roll down it.
You have to.
Yeah, because it's just too sharp. I mean, the postman doesn't come down here.
Yeah.
But at the top of the hill, that's where my mailbox is.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Quarter mile up the road, I got to go get my fucking mail.
Oh, because he's coming from Henniker side. That's where it's the worst.
Oh, yeah. And I've seen cars out there. But then the other thing is, anywhere along the road is drainage ditches. And like right across from my driveway, dude. It's like a 4-foot drop into a drainage ditch.
Yeah.
That's where Lex went down, dude. He was coming to my house to meet me for Deadbeat like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And it was raining like a motherfucker. And he went right into the ditch.
It's easy.
Yeah.
It's easy, especially when they're dug that deep. But you're on the side of a mountain, so you have a lot of runoff. So even after the rain, you have 3 or 4 days of streams that are just coming out randomly through the woods.
Yeah, they re-dirt this road every fucking 2 weeks because it gets all like washboardy and shit and like. But it's fun when you're ripping down the road and there's a huge dust cloud behind you, like fucking Dukes of Hazzard, you know?
Yeah, yeah. It is kind of fun to have that Duke Boys look, you know?
Oh yeah.
But sucks for the person who's behind you.
Oh yeah. Sucks to have a car, dude. Sucks to have a black car on a dirt road.
Yeah.
Try getting a fucking car wash and then you pull into your you just go get a car wash, you get like the fucking Hillsborough special, and then you come home and it's all just covered in fucking dirt again.
Oh yeah. But dirt road living, it's good.
Oh yeah.
It's where I grew up.
Yeah. That's why I do the knobby tires. The Bajas. I love those fucking tires, dude. I've had them on the last 2 bikes.
I love the look of Bajas on a like a rigid chop.
Oh yeah.
It's got that like
they're so mean looking.
Walking Dead kind of, you know.
Exactly, yeah. Post-apocalyptic shit.
Yeah, yeah. It's like, oh, this thing can go fucking anywhere.
Yeah, it can go on trails, run over zombies.
That's why I loved that beginning of that series was that dude Daryl who was on that Triumph chopper.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was it a Triumph? It was a Triumph.
It was a Triumph chop with the Nazi SS logo on the side of the tank. That they did not.
I'm surprised they fucking went forward with that shit.
So I watch his show, Ride with Norman Reedus. Have you ever watched any of that? Dude, it's a fucking cool show. So he's a motorcycle enthusiast, like to the bone. And I think it was on his show he was talking about that motorcycle, that Triumph chop. And I guess the story goes is when they were getting the show together and they were looking for the vehicles, you know, like Craigslist, they found this Triumph chopper down south that had it was ready to go, you know, ready to kick over. And they were like, this looks like a motorcycle that this character would ride, you know, and the SS logo is right on the side. And it kind of fit too, because if you've watched the show, him and his brother were, you know, not savory characters by any means.
They were like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, so it played into their character a little bit, but yeah, the balls of those producers to continue with that logo on the side of the tank, but it worked well. He's still everyone's favorite character from that show. Like, his character development obviously got better over time, but
they softened him up.
It was cool to see like a Triumph chopper like on the silver screen, you know, so to speak. Because I mean that the Triumph chopper was my first chopper, you know, and you know
the Nazi thing is like one of the big divide. You know, like some people, it's you're either in or you're out. You know, like there's some dudes that are just like fuck it, it's fine, and then other dudes that are like absolutely fucking no way.
I think, you know, it was meant back in like the 60s and shit, you know, it was just meant to shock people, you know, the like the majority of people that ran like swastikas and shit, like it was just meant to fucking upset people on purpose, you know, like half of those guys were fucking veterans from fucking World War II in Korea, you know, themselves.
That's what they say is like, a lot of them are like trophies for killing Nazis.
Trophies.
Like, you can get behind that.
Yeah. But, you know, now it just means one thing, you know, it doesn't mean there's no gray area to it anymore. You know, if you've got like the SS logo or like a swastika on something, like it people just, it means one thing to them, you know, and it's kind of intended what it was supposed to be in the beginning, you know. You got a lot of people who get bent out of shape really easy, and then some people who are like, oh, that's not cool. Well, anyway, let's move on with life, you know.
So anyways,
there's always gonna like, you're never gonna completely sanitize society from like true bigotry.
Yeah, you could just be like, my cup of tea, but none of my beeswax, you know.
Yeah.
I wouldn't personally do it, but you know,
no, because I would never run it. I would never run anything with a swastika or an SS logo on it, because it does mean something that's bad now. Like whether, you know, you could, oh no, it meant like, you know, good luck and blah, 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 like for the Hindus and stuff. And they still have like swastika, you know, emblems on their stuff, you know, if you go to like India and shit. And it's like, well, that's nice, but we know why someone here has one. And it's not because of that, like, you know, so I just don't fuck with it because it only just means one thing, really. Like,
I just don't want to I don't want to have to fucking explain myself. Some people are like antagonistic though, you know, so they're like, they'll put shit like that on. Just so they can have that conversation. I'd rather not.
Just to ruffle feathers.
Like, I don't fucking care if you have it on your shit or not. Like,
I think it's stupid to like boast about it now, like in the year 2020, almost 25, like you're gonna have like a Nazi armband on your thing and parade down the street. Be like, you don't even know what you're fucking talking about.
Yeah,
like you really don't understand like what you're standing, like you think you're standing for, you know.
I can't think of anybody that's more universally hated than the Nazis.
No, you know. But then again, like that term Nazi has been used and used, watered down. It's lost its shock value.
You got to get off the internet. If you hear the word dude, like in my life, I don't hear the word Nazi at all. Nobody calls me a Nazi. I don't hear it. Get the fuck off Facebook. Get the fuck out of the you know, like you shouldn't be being called that or calling anybody that.
Yeah. I think it's just the playing card that people have now when someone disagrees with them about something.
Oh yeah.
Like, it's just because you're a Nazi, or you're racist, or you're something horrible that really is not the case. It's just that you like to go to this extreme to try and win this conversation. That's what it's kind of like lost its like luster. It doesn't have much of an impact anymore. But yeah, we could go on forever about that one. Woo.
I prefer not to.
And I prefer not to. So, yeah, Lime Time was kind of a cool build.
So what do you, what's the new bike? Because it's a completely different color. It's
new color.
Direction. And it has a completely new name.
Yeah. So the new color is it's called like, Illusion Violet is like the actual brand name, but it's a purple. It's a purple that turns this like crazy pinkish purple in the sun. It changes colors. So in like deadlight, it's kind of dark, and then once the sunlight hits it, it's almost like it almost looks like it's pink underneath. It's really cool. And the new name is Bewitched, after the old TV show.
Were you a fan?
When I was a kid, yeah, I used to watch a lot.
Wasn't that in like the 60s?
Yeah, well, it was reruns, obviously, when I was a kid, but no, it fit really well, I think, because it's like, I love naming bikes. I think it's cool to name a bike, because like people name ships, you know, and people have like names for their like favorite car, you know, like naming a chopper, I think, is kind of special. And Lime Time was the name given it to it by actually the old podcast, because that was the color name.
Oh, really?
And people just started calling it Lime Time. So I was like, oh, that's what's called.
Oh, you didn't name it?
No, I didn't name it. I think Reese actually coined the name Lime Time.
No shit.
Just so he had something to reference to.
Huh.
Like, oh yeah, you were riding Lime Time, you know, and that's how it just started. This time around, I named it Bewitched because of the kind of the purple color. You know, purple is always associated with Halloween, and you know, witches' hats are always kind of purple or something. So Bewitched is kind of cool because you know, it's a show that took place in Salem, Mass. You know, like the old black and white show. You know, so I thought it was very fitting, and that bike.
That's one of those things, like the naming thing. There's dudes that are firmly in the naming camp, and then there's guys that are not.
Yeah.
Now, I've never named a bike.
Yeah.
But I think it's cool. I probably should, but I don't know. It seems weird to me. I don't know why.
Yeah. It feels goofy.
It feels goofy.
It feels like silly when like something that you don't want to make silly, because we care so much about these bikes. So you don't want it to like, you don't want to give it like a, you know, this idea that it's like something like not cool.
But you also you kind of have to give it a name, like you have to refer to it as something. So I'm always just like, oh yeah, my Sporty, or oh, my Shovelhead, or something, you know, like, or the Softail. But then it's just a point in time reference type of thing, you know, because now I have another Sporty. And it's like, well, I've had 3 other Sporties before this too. And like, I can't tell the difference unless you have a name. You have to have like a proper noun.
That's true. Yeah.
So I should probably start.
Never too late.
But it's, you know, like, Dan's one of the guys. He's like, oh, the Gypsy Witch. You know exactly what motorcycle he's talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
And probably which iteration, because now, like, you have Lime Time, and then you have this new bike. It's the same bike.
Yeah.
But it's not really.
Yeah.
It's like that. What was that? Like that old paradox, like a ship thing. Like, how many? If you replace every part of the ship, is it still the same ship?
Yeah. That's always been the thing with motorcycles, because if you got, you know, let's say I had like an 81 shovel, right? Like my 81 FX, right? Now let's say I chop the frame and I pull the motor and the trans. Let's say I put like a Baker 6-speed transmission in that, or like a Baker 5-speed. And then I put in an S&S crate motor that fucking, you know, makes fucking crazy power and shit like that. And then my wheels came off lowbrow, my tubes came off, you know, another site. You know, this person made my seat, my handlebars came off, you know, Deadbeat Customs. The only thing that really makes that really an 81 wide glide anymore, or an 81 FX or whatever you're running, is the VIN.
Yeah.
You know, there's nothing original about the bike. So I don't know where I was going with that, but I know what you're saying.
No,
it's just like,
especially if you redo your bike a lot, you know, like you might even get to a point where you like take the motor out and you put it into a new frame.
Yeah.
And you lose that VIN, and then you blow your motor up. You replace the motor. It's like, is it the same? It's not the same bike anymore.
It's really not.
Yeah.
It's really not. But through some weird transformation, you know, loopholes, it's still a 1970 something, you know, but that bike will always, the Triumph will always be like the same bike to me. It's just going to be in a different form.
How was it like? Because that being your first build and, you know, having so much ride time with it and all that, like, did it hurt a little bit to start ripping her apart?
Not so much like it, you know, at the end, because by then it was like, oh, it's easy for me to keep cutting this thing up.
Yeah.
I think it was difficult at first, because that was my, that was like that bike was like my learning curve into choppers and stuff like that. So, and then building it with my old friend Kevin, I didn't have an iPhone at the time when I built that bike. So actually I took all the build photos of that are with a disposable camera, and I had to go get them developed at Walmart.
How old are you?
I'm only 38, but it took me until like the iPhone like 7 or 8 to get like an actual, because I had flip phones for the longest time.
Oh, fuck yeah.
And I didn't have a digital camera. So
yeah, dude.
But yeah, so kind of like undoing what we did together, like in like the first like stages of my life with these bikes, like was kind of awkward, but I knew that the finished product, which what it is now, is like 10 times, I think, better.
Because you've got so much more fucking experience.
Yeah, like what I look for in a motorcycle or in a chopper build has definitely like grown over time, and a lot of it's going to show in like the before and after of this bike. So this bike was like my first rigid, first time ever doing anything chop, so now it's like this bike is kind of like another first for me, because I started to weld for myself this time. So I never welded up my own stuff before. I always had friends who had welders and who were better at it than me. So a lot of my fabrication went out. I would say a lot, but all of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I picked up a welder in hopes that I would kind of like get over that intimidation and that fear of like hot metal and electricity, and what if I fuck it up? I don't want to hurt myself. I don't want to fucking burn my house down. So I picked up the same welder that Dan was running, because he was able to do
MIG welder.
Yeah, that little MIG. It's a MIG 90.
Yeah.
And he was able to do everything he needed to do on his bikes, and then some with that one welder.
Yep.
And I was like, okay, like,
and what do you pay for it is like $100-something bucks.
Yeah, I think with mine, I got a tank. I got my own tank, a helmet, and the welder, which the welder comes with everything, including like a starting spool of wire. And I think my cart was like $300.
Holy shit!
Yeah,
all together,
super cheap. So yeah. So when I first built Lime Time, it taught me a lot, And then now the second time around with this Bewitch build, it's like it's teaching me all over again.
Oh yeah,
with the welding.
Yeah, welding
portion.
Opens up so many doors to your creativity.
Honestly, like there's no hang-ups now.
Yeah,
and trying to find the time to like get your stuff to a friend's house who's going to weld it up, and then you're on
it to him.
Now you're on his schedule, and there's still stuff that I'll have probably welded by other people, like because I haven't gotten into TIG yet. So if I the welds on the sissy bar, so all the other structural welds I did myself. I don't care if they're ugly. I don't care if they're pretty. I ground some of them down because they looked like shit, but they're gonna hold.
Mm-hmm.
I hope. But when it came to the sissy bar, people look at those welds. People are going to see those welds. This isn't something that can hide under the motor or in the frame somewhere. So, Joey over at Fat Man Custom Motors.
Oh, fuck yeah.
He did the TIG welds, the finished TIG weld. I tacked everything up the way it should be.
Oh, that's perfect, though, because then you can just,
I just threw him the sissy.
Exactly how you need it.
Exactly. And I did all the tack welds. Then I gave it to him, and then he did the TIG welds, so the finished welds look really nice. Because mine wouldn't look nice. They'd hold, they wouldn't look pretty. So, I like what Grease told me a long time ago that I should get into welding because he liked, he liked my idea of like for lack of a better term, like the intimacy of a bike build. Like, every nut and bolt, what's going on inside the motor and everything like that. And he said that not welding, even just tabs and simple shit, you're missing out on a like really cool part of the build and another like level of like accomplishment, really. When you can get these like two pieces of metal to stick together that are going to hold your brake rod, like that's fucking cool. And I was missing out on that.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize I was until he like just put it out like that. I was like, fuck, dude, I am like, I should really fucking step up my game. And then and then seeing what Dan did with his little welder, I was like, I'll just get that same welder. And seeing what you do with Tig and Mig, I was like, these guys, I say these guys like my friends, they're fucking, one step above me with some of this shit. So I really got to step up my game. Not for the sake of like, our friendship or anything. Like, you guys would never give me shit for not like welding something, but for myself, and
it just unlocks infinite possibilities. Like, once you're able to make your own parts,
yeah,
like that's the coolest thing. Cause then you can make something that's nobody else has.
And it
solves a problem that you had on your specific build.
Yeah. And what I liked about it is I saved so much time of just running around. I didn't have to bring my frame anywhere. And now I'm not on someone else's time. I'm on my own time. I'll weld it when I can, like that was cool. That was like something else. And then obviously once the metal's cool, you kind of step back and you're like, holy shit, I did that.
Yep.
It's fucking cool.
Yeah.
It's a good feeling.
Oh yeah.
It's a good feeling.
Especially when you get it right. It sucks when you get it wrong. And then you realize how fucking how good you are at welding when you have to grind something off and you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah. I know. I was like, there was a couple times where I did have to grind away, and even my tack welds had penetrated deep, and I was like, holy shit. Like, once I do this complete weld, this thing ain't going anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. I'm so glad that you got into the welding aspect of it, because it really just like, first of all, the moment, like you said, you're not waiting on anybody else's schedule. So it's like, if you want to get something done in a certain amount of time, it's up to you. Like, you make the time to do the welding, to do the fabrication.
Yeah.
And that's super fun too, because it's all about problem solving, metalworking, and yeah, dude, you give yourself a fucking pat on the back. You're like, I can't believe that fucking worked,
Yeah.
Like, only with welding have I ever been like, woohoo! Like, I can't believe that I pulled that off. And like, it's perfect.
Like, I think you're about to say like the momentum. Like, you don't like, as you're building a bike, like maintaining that momentum of completing that project. These bikes are 1,000 little projects rolled into one,
right?
And then the final product of that 1,000 little projects is the whole motorcycle.
And that's what people get hung up on, like when they're like, I can't do this. It's like, because you're looking at it like this. It's like, you got to look at it like this. Like, this tab, you knock that out, check it off the list. This, getting the sissy bar mounted to the fender, like, that's one little piece of it. When you break it up into 1,000 different little projects, you just chip away at it, and eventually it starts coming together. Yeah.
I love that moment where, you're focusing on these little like projects so deeply, whether it's like making the axle spacers and getting, the forks together, eventually, like, it's just like you're looking at the motorcycle like this close, because all these little projects take that hyperfixation to complete. Yeah. And then one day you just go out in the garage and you're like, holy fuck, there's a motorcycle in here.
Yeah.
How's he gonna, like, what do I gotta do? Oh my God, I'm at plumbing and wiring.
Yep.
I have a bike.
Yeah.
Like, you just become so focused on those smaller little projects that that's my favorite part of the build, is where all of a sudden you come out and there's a motorcycle there.
Yeah.
And it doesn't look like 1,000 little projects. It looks like a completed bike. That's a cool feeling, because you know what that bike looks like to be bare bones down to frame.
Yep.
And now here it is leaning on its kickstand, and you're down to oil lines and timing. Like, that's a cool feeling.
Yeah. Or just like, got to send it out for paint, you know, or got to fucking paint this fucking thing.
Or even after paint, you know, getting it back from color is like really exciting. But, you know.
Yeah. And my experience has been, it's like, it doesn't really matter which fucking order you do it in. It's just like, whatever you want to get it done, you know, like, obviously certain things are dependent on other things. But like when you first start off, it's like, you could do the sissy bar first if you want. You know? Like,
can, yeah.
You can do whatever you want.
Some things take an order.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you can't get your fender space, like, you know, for a shovel, for example. Like, on a shovel, you can't pick out, you can't mount and, like, figure out where your fender is going to be, really, until you know how far away your tire is going to be with your chain to your transmission.
You're going to run. And
then you got to make sure that transmission is lined up with the motor.
Yeah.
You know, so, like, there's some things that you do kind of have to go in a little bit of an order because one thing relies on the other.
Yeah.
But
one thing, you mentioned the spacing of the transmission was one of the things that I did probably the most, like, research on, and found out that it's one of the easiest things to do on a shovel head is get the fucking transmission
spacing right.
Dude, it wasn't, maybe I just got lucky, but, like, it was like when I finally went to go do it, it's just like, it just fucking goes in one way. You got to muscle it in, and there's a way to do that. But it was one of those things where, like, you know, some people are, like, super critical about their wheel spacers and super critical about certain things.
The most part.
Yeah. One of those things is, like, transmission alignment, you know, and it's just like, you just dump that fucker in there.
Yeah.
It fucking worked out fine, you know?
Yeah. You can either you can either have it running like a Swiss watch.
Yeah.
Or you could have it running like a Timex watch. And they're both going to run.
With Indiglow.
Yeah. With Indiglow, dude. Yeah. I kept my inner primary when I was doing my transmission spacing.
Mm-hmm.
So I just mount, because I'm running an open primary on my shovel.
Mm-hmm.
So they're, you know, to get that spacing right, I just remounted my inner primary to the motor and then bolted my transmission to the inner primary, because that's how it was stock.
Yeah.
So that spacing and that alignment. So at that point, when I bolted my transmission to the inner primary, that's when I tightened down my transmission bolts. And then when I pulled that inner primary off, motor, trans aligned the way that they would if my inner primary was still attached. And then I did my chain to my tire and then where my fender was going to be.
Yeah.
So I still, of all the parts that I got rid of for my shovel, I kept my inner primary in case I ever have to do my shovel or my transmission alignment again. Because I'll just reuse that as like a jig, basically.
Yeah.
But yeah, the fabrication definitely stepped it up. Now nothing is like, you know, nothing's impossible anymore. And and it's nice too, because, like, if I do fuck it up and I really can't get out of it, I know so many people who can fabricate, you know, like, you know, between you and Dan, it's just like, you know, fucking Alex Lang, you know, all these motherfuckers have welders.
Well, also, I mean,
all done it
that's
before.
the thing is, like, dude, people hit me about welding advice all the time. And I'm like, I ain't no fucking welder, dude. But, like, it's nice to have someone else. Like, when I first got into TIG welding, I had grease. And I was like, dude, is this fucked up? But, like, and you'll be surprised how forgiving it actually is. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it's absolutely, like, if you're wondering what to spend your money on and you build bikes, welder, 100%.
Yeah.
It'll unlock, like, the next tier to your fucking bike building.
Like I said, mine, like, everything to start welding was less than $400, really.
Yeah,
and it was the Eastwood MiG 90. It's literally, I think, labeled as like the beginner's welder, or like, you know, anyone can weld with this, and it's true. You know, like, I'm not, you know, I didn't go to school. You know, I took welding class in high school, but we only got as far as like operating a acetylene torch, and the fucking welding teacher quit because he couldn't deal with the fucking assholes that came in with my class.
That's fucking funny.
Yeah.
I want one of those torches really bad. That's one thing.
I want one now for being able to like bend metal and stuff like that, because
or like a sissy bar or something would be like really key.
Like the sissy bar that I did for the Triumph it's the pre-bent one for like $80-$90 you get.
Yeah.
Comes with the tabs and everything. All I did is I just welded in one of those Prism Supply taillights, and then the old actually the license plate bracket that was on Lime Time, I chopped that all up and I just used one strip of it and welded it to the sissy bar, and that's how the plate gets mounted. You know,
yeah, dude.
Very simple, but could I have probably added some more stuff to the sissy bar to make it like a little bit more gaudy? Like, yes, I could have, but it looks plain for a reason. I wanted this bike to be very, like just a simple chopper.
Yeah.
Like the Bewitched thing, I guess it kind of has a theme because I named it Bewitched, you know, but it's not going to have like little fucking broomsticks all over it. You know what I mean? Like just the name of the bike, you know, like, whereas like the Shovel, it's going to have like little crescent moons hidden all over the place.
Subtle.
Like, yeah. Cause like that one hasn't, it's Jade Moon. That's what I named that one.
Fuck yeah, dude.
And I have the jade color all picked out for the paint and everything. And
jade theme again.
Yeah, well, it's definitely because of that old Sportster I had.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Which through like 4 or 5 people, Dead Kev has now, which is pretty fucking dope. But yeah, the Shovel is going to be the Jade Sunglow, the Harley stock paint, with like a little bit of talking to Dan, kind of doing like a little bit of like darker spots here and there, you know, like and then like the nooks and crannies of like where the frame is and stuff, kind of having it like a deeper, you know, color.
Yeah.
And then like along the frame rails and stuff, kind of like lighten up. So I haven't even ordered the paint yet, but I know I can still get the paint, which is nice. But yeah, so the Triumph is going to be real, like kind of like that 60s kind of look, you know, with the ape hangers and stuff like that.
Oh, fuck yeah.
And then anything that a rattle can painted black in the past, I've gotten redone in the Super Chrome powder coat. So it's going to be that purple on chrome look.
It's fucking sick, dude. I love that Super Chrome.
It's kind of a cool finish because it doesn't come out looking like true chrome. It comes out looking more like polished nickel. Have you ever seen that? Or even like really good polished aluminum. That's how it comes out. So the brake drums and everything like that's going to be all chromed up, and I think it's going to be nice. The only thing that's going to be, I think, the only black parts left on it, I think, are the hubs, which are essentially the wheel drums.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I didn't want to delace my wheels, because that is a fucking bitch.
Dude, I did a bunch of powder coating on different brackets and stuff on the shovel head. And if it's a bracket and it's kind of like on the I had a transmission bracket for my, what was it? I had some mids on there. I didn't end up running it, but looks good.
Yeah.
If you're standing there looking at a bike, looks like fucking metal.
I know. There was one of the ride-in last year at La Espada. One of the bikes that rode in when we were all out. I think we were all outside
with the gold chrome frame.
That's super chrome powder coat.
Yeah. I like it.
So it's reflective enough to like have like a mirror image, but it's kind of dulled down. I think it's gonna look great. I should have those parts back from the powder coater end of this week. I think it's been taking a minute, but I'll have that bike wrapped up real fucking quick. I've even considered like taking a day off from work just to crank it out,
do it,
rewire it, and then kick it over.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Triumph has definitely been a cool bike because it's just, you know, like I said, it was my learner bike for choppers, and now it's like a whole new, whole new lesson with the welding on it again. So
yeah, it's so fucking cool that you get to redo it again. I mean, and it's like it so intimately, and there's so many things, especially being your first bike. Like when you redo stuff that you did like 2, 3, 4 years ago, you're like, was I retarded? Like what the fuck was I thinking?
Yeah, I mean, I'm doing new exhaust too, and even the exhaust alone is going to be much nicer than the old one. But yeah, I didn't know any welders back then either. So I had to find people who they weren't welders, they could just weld. And a lot of that stuff got blown through. The exhaust, it was basically a Triumph exhaust that we chopped up and used a bunch of pieces to make the 2-into-1 for that single pipe that came out the left side. And there were so many there were so many exhaust leaks in those welds, so many little pinholes. It's like the bike's sitting, the bike could be sitting at idle, and you would put your hand around one of those weld points, and you could just feel the on your hand, because there would be 3 or 4 little pinholes in it. Because I didn't know good welders at the time, and I couldn't weld either.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be bigger and better.
Yeah, that's fucking awesome. Do you have any plans to debut at any shows or anything?
I think so. We'll see. We'll see. I haven't really considered it. I know that I was supposed to go to Glory Days with War Turkey this past September, but I had to call it off because I literally could not afford the gas to drive out there. Because from here in New Hampshire to Pittsburgh, it's about a 9-hour, 10-hour drive.
Yeah.
When we drove out there last year, it took 13 because I was in my 1500 hauling my work trailer from work that can hold 4 bikes.
Holy shit.
And going up those hills, I was down to 45.
You can see the gas gauge actually dropping.
Yeah. So it was easily $300, $400 in gas alone.
Oh, fuck yeah.
It wasn't so much my gas gauge I was really paying attention to. It was my transmission temp.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was watching that thing like a hawk. Because I was like, I do not want to burn this thing out in the middle of Pennsylvania.
Oh, my God, dude.
It didn't like it. I think I maxed the towing capacity of that truck with the trailer alone. And then we had my Triumph Bowhammer, the Sportster that was in the show, in there, and then Joel and Alex had their shovels in there. So I had 4 bikes on a maxed out trailer, and my truck was just like, fuck you. So
what did I do to you?
Yeah, I got the invite to bring War Turkey there after Dan did the paint and stuff like that, and regrettably I had to reach out to Kirk and say, hey man, I can't afford it. Between all the vehicle shit I have to take care of, and I can go, but I'm gonna come home broke as fuck, and I can't do that right now. And he's like, dude, I get it. So he pushed my invitation out to next year. Yeah. So Glory Days 25, I have a spot.
Sick.
I might see if I can squeeze in the Triumph as well, and maybe show 2 bikes at that one.
Yeah,
so that's gonna be big. I was very lucky to have the chance to go out there when it was at the Cary Blast Furnace. Have you ever seen Glory Days? It's in Pittsburgh, and it was along the river in one of the old steel mills, and it's a historic site. So essentially, it's historic landmark. He had his show. The invited area was on the inside of the blast furnace, and then the outside ride-in area was kind of in between these 2 big parts of the building and stuff. Such a cool location. I don't think I've ever seen anyone have anything at a blast furnace, let alone a chopper show, motorcycle show. There's a little bit of everything there, but now it's at the Steel City Beer Brew Co.
Okay.
And it's bigger and better. So I want to get out to that next year.
Yeah. Well, you'll definitely have at least 1 bike in our show,
mm-hmm.
which I'm going solo on this one, fellas, ladies, others. I'm not even going to tell you, but I'm beaming right now. I'm very excited. We had a little meeting over the weekend. I think we locked down the venue, and I think we got the date locked down. We don't have a name locked down, but I'm going to tell you this. It's going to be the biggest Lowlife show to date by far. We have huge plans for it, and it's coming up quick. So I'm just going to tickle it a little bit. We have the venue. I'm about 99% sure we got it locked. It's going to be fucking sick, and the people that we're working with at the venue are fucking awesome. And we're going to have them on the show. We're going to talk about it. But that's not even the best part. We're going to have a show, yes, in the spring, summertime. I'll let you in on the date when I got that locked down. We're also going to be doing a winter show. Yes, sir. 2 shows. We're going to do a bike show when it's warm out, but we're going to be doing a motherfucking swap in the dead of winter in New Hampshire at the same venue. We're doing it. We don't have the date for that either, but we got the venue for a winter swap, which I know you guys need. I need it in the dead of winter, 2025, January, February timeframe when you're like cleaning your gun and you're like fucking just shoveled fucking 18 inches of snow. And you're just like, I wonder how one of these fucking 9mm will taste. We're going to have some motorcycle shit for you to do. So you don't have to do that. You don't have to swallow a bullet. You can come hang out with us. We're going to do a swap meet. We'll get some details for that soon. But our show's going on, and it's going to be fucking huge. It's going to be off the chain. I'm so excited about it, dude. I'm so excited about it.
It's going to be a good time.
Yeah, like we talked to the people, and, you know, I was like, you know what? If we're going to be doing a show, the one thing in my mind was like, I want to do our show. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to have it be like a show within a show, you know? Like, yeah. I don't want to have a bike show for someone else's show. Yeah. And the first thing was like, we want to host your show. And it was like, fucking A, dude. Yeah. It's on. So I'm just like, I'm so stoked on it. Like, we got out of there. We were all giddy, you know? Yeah. And then the bonus thing was like, their idea was, why don't you have a swap meet in the middle of the fucking winter? And I was like, yeah, dude, that's a fucking great idea.
Yeah, there's a lot of excitement on both ends of, you know, what the Lowlife side can bring and what this venue can bring to the table because of the opportunities. It's going to be, I mean, I almost want to say you can't fuck it up. Yeah. Because it's gonna be really good.
Yeah, it's gonna be definitely better than the last 2 years just by default. But the other thing is like, now we got a swap meet in the winter. But here's the thing is, we need a name. I cannot think of a fucking cool name for the life of me. Yeah. I want to run a little contest. And it's not like you guys get to choose the fucking name because you're going to come up with like Showy McShowface or something fucking stupid. Yeah. But if you have a suggestion for an awesome fucking show name, like you are like, dude, this is fucking perfect. If we end up using that show name, I will send you $100 gift card to either Deadbeat Customs or Lowbrow Customs. You get to choose. So send me your name. Send me, either DM me on IG. Send it to fucking YouTube. I don't know if they have DMs there. I don't use that much. Or email me or Dan at, you know, Rhino or Dan at the Lowlife. Almost said it. At the lowlifepodcast.com. And if we use the name, dude, not only do you get free admittance into the show, but I'm going to send you $100 gift card. So think of a cool show name. Yeah. Because this is something I want to do. I don't want to just do it once. I want to do it every fucking year.
An annual show, really big. Northeast, something to really bring the Northeast together. Yeah. Involving motorcycles because, we got more riders in the Northeast than we do anywhere in the country, and we only ride 6-7 months out of the year. Like the average New Englander rides 3,500 miles a season, like, riding season. It's not a lot, but we have more riders, per capita than anywhere in the country, so I think it's going to be really, really special. I don't think anyone's ever done something.
It's what grandeur. It is. I'll give you what it is. It's a celebration of motorcycle culture. Yeah. It's not a chopper show. It's the same as the Lowlife Lowdown has been. It's just, custom bikes. Custom bikes. If you're into custom bikes or if you ride a custom bike, as long as you're into bikes or biker culture or whatever the fuck it is, it's the show for you, and it's for New England too. That's the other thing is I got a lot of fucking hometown pride. Yeah. I love New England. I think it's the best.
There's nowhere else I'd rather live.
Dude, Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire, Massachusetts to a degree. Rhode Island, love it and hate it, but they have some really good fucking hot wieners, dude. Some gaggers, dude. Have you ever had a gagger?
Not in a long time. Not since college.
Dude, have you ever had a gagger?
No.
Dude.
No. My experience with Rhode Island has been like Warwick area, and then that's about it. And I used to write off Connecticut completely as a place that was like no man's land for me. I'd never have any reason to go to Connecticut. And then I met Chicken Rick, Ronnie, and all them down there. Yeah. And now we got Chris at Oxford Choppers. And I think
Connecticut's the next big thing, dude. Dudes are coming out of the woodwork. Like there's some dude from a bike shop reached out to me. He's like, you ever need to play Scratch? Fucking hit me up. And I'm like, dude, there's a lot of fucking heavy hitters from Connecticut in the game right now.
There are, and I think they've always been there. It's just that there was never like, I don't know. I don't think they just drew too much attention until like recent times. But
maybe they didn't have the internet in Connecticut. Recently.
Well, I never thought I'd have Connecticut homies. Yeah. Mass, all day long. Then we got a couple crazies up in Maine. That we know.
Connecticut's far.
Connecticut is far. It doesn't look that far on a map, and it's like one of those like weird destinations where
it's actually not though, because like it looks far. It depends on where you go in Connecticut. Because I think I got down to Chris's house in like 2 hours.
I think the problem with Connecticut from New Hampshire is there's no straight shot. Because when we head south, when you jump on either 95 or 490, you go 495. 495 does this giant ring like around Boston. Yeah. So you got to you can't just head south. You got to kind of head west, and then you got to stay like literally west straight for like a minute and then go south. And then depending on the traffic, Connecticut, you could get from here to there in an hour, or you could get from here to there in 3.5 hours. Yeah. Like depending on the day. So it's one of those like, they
have some pretty big cities down there. And
our states are really close, but
like
the travel time.
Hartford, dude, if you hit Hartford at the wrong time, you're fucked. Which
is like all the time.
Yeah. I always take 495 though, like down to Rhode Island.
Yeah.
Like, it's worth the time, the extra mileage to get around Boston.
Oh yeah, definitely 495, and then over to like 84, but the only people in New England understand what the fuck we're talking about. But
yeah, I know. This is what guys from New Hampshire, we talk about routes and interstates. Yeah, we love talking about routes.
Nothing better.
Actually, before we started, we're like, oh, you stopped off at Ling Tots for coffee? What did you take 114 got? Yeah, I went 77. What is that? 13 to fucking.
It was Rhino started it off with like the most New Hampshire way of being like, which way did you come? Like just so he had an idea.
Even before I said hello, I was just like, how'd you get here? You stopped at Ling Tots?
So that's just how we do.
Yeah.
And our favorite Circle K's. We measure distance by Cumberland Farms and Circle's K's.
I plot my route to places by if there's a Dunkin's or not.
If there's a Dunkin's or an Irving, because Circle K has the best hot dogs.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, their roller meat selection is unmatched.
Roller meat.
Yeah,
Nice.
that's your tornadoes and your hot dogs and your little sausages.
I was gonna say, with Dan on the podcast, we never talk about food because he doesn't eat food. He just smokes cigarettes and he drinks energy drinks.
As God
Me and
intended.
Loctite, we're big boys. We're always talking
Yeah.
about fucking hot dogs and shit.
Well, I drive for a living, so finding food on the road is like part of my day. So
you actually know, you're an authority on the subject of roller meat.
oh yeah.
You've been to them all.
Yeah, Circle K's, which are Irving's, have like the superior, and then there's a couple gas stations that have crispy, crunchy chicken, and it's the best fried chicken I've ever had
Bruh.
at a gas station.
Bruh. Down the street, they just fucking put one in.
Crispy, crunchy?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
In Hillsboro.
Yep.
And I was like, so they own like the gas station and the smoke shop right across.
Yeah.
And one day I went to the smoke shop and they were unloading all the equipment. And dude, they were giddy. They were like, we're doing it. And like they know me because that's where I get all my shit, you know. And they were like, we're getting crispy, crunchy chicken. And I was like, oh, fuck yeah. I didn't know what it was. And then, dude, it's like a fucking fast food restaurant in there.
It really is.
And there's like a line out the door.
The chicken's wicked good.
Dude, so good.
Yeah, and anything like that happens in Hillsboro, it's a big fucking deal.
Oh, yeah.
I remember when Shaw's came to town in Hillsboro.
So there wasn't a Shaw's before, back in the day?
Back in the day, dude. There was 2 grocery stores.
He used to live out yonder by me growing up, so he knows all the local haunts.
Yeah, Hillsboro is like that low-income town. Railroad used to come through back in the day, but now there's nothing.
Factory.
Oh, yeah. And, yeah, there used to be two grocery stores, like little mom and pop. One was called Crescenti's, which is like, you know where Hillsboro Ford is? There's that little plaza across the street. It was inside that, where it's a bank now.
Okay, yeah.
That was Crescenti's supermarket. And then on the seedier side of town in Hillsboro, down by the Cumberland Farms,
it's still pretty seedy.
Down closer to like
by the Family Dollar.
Yeah, the Family Dollar. That Family Dollar used to be Wesson's.
Oh, that was
another grocery store.
Oh, fuck yeah.
That was the one like you had to like check the dates on the baked beans because
no shit. That's where I get my Modelo's, at the Family Dollar, dude.
That's fucking great.
Yeah.
But yeah, then Shaw's came to town, and that was it. It's the end of a couple eras.
I'm a Shaw's guy.
I do miss this area though, because like when you're like a teenager growing up with like nothing around you, you just want to get the fuck out. But as an adult, like I'm like, oh, I want to move back to where it's quiet.
Yeah,
small town shit.
I love being right here because I'm right on the Hillsboro Henniker line.
Yeah,
so I can go to O'Reilly's and get parts for my car.
Yep,
I can go to Shaw's and pick up. They got the best bagels, dude. They got the best bakery. They're fucking bagels, dude. Forget about it. Unbelievable, dude. When you eat one of their bagels, you're like, this is a good bagel.
Yeah.
Fuck Thomas's. Fuck all that other bullshit, dude. Shaw's Bakery, unbelievable.
Yeah, we got a Shaw's by my place in Merrimack, and I went to their grocery store, and their bakery and apple fritters. They have a good apple fritters too.
They used to have the cookie club back in the day, dude. You'd be a kid.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, dude, you get free cookies.
Damn.
Yeah. Because like going to fucking, oh man, we're getting off the rails here. Actually, I wanted to.
You have a lot of built-up food talk that you've had to repress.
Dude, Dan, I don't think I've ever seen Dan eat food.
I have.
Have you ever seen him put food in his mouth?
Yes. Yeah. Pizza in his garage. Went back during like the.
Did he chew?
The Queen City bike.
Did you see him swallow?
No. He just kind of like, and it's gone.
He just munched it up and then like maybe spit it in the garbage.
He taught me that whenever you order pizzas for a bunch of people, just always get buffalo sauce on the side. So no matter what pizza you're eating, it becomes a buffalo.
He's a
pizza.
smart guy.
Because I was like, dude, I just never thought of dipping my my cheese pizza into buffalo sauce. Yeah, and it's so good.
He's not smart. He has wisdom.
He's wise, not smart.
He's wise.
Yeah, he's wise.
He's wise.
He's so wise.
He thinks about things like that. Even though he didn't eat food, I'm not convinced that he does actually need food for sustenance. I think he gets everything from Monster Energy drinks and Lucky Strikes.
The Lucky Strikes, dude. It's impressive.
Yeah. You might have to take a supplement because he's not getting enough zinc in his diet, but
yeah,
Lucky Strikes pretty much gives you everything you need.
Yeah, he's invincible at this point.
Oh, yeah.
Because I think he drinks his coffee black, too.
Does he even drink coffee?
I don't know.
I've never seen him with coffee, dude.
I've seen him with coffee.
Yeah?
Yeah. I've seen him with coffee. Was
it a Monster coffee?
No, we had a couple cups. We had a couple cups of coffee that morning when we were heading out this way to go a ride. The one that you like gave us a bunch of shit on for being like an hour and a half late.
Oh, yeah.
So there wasn't me and Dan. Of the three of us that rode from his house,
Kevin.
What happened, dude? We met up at Dan's house. Now, my float, I think like my little stop needle or whatever, my float got clogged up, so my bike was like pissing fuel. So we were expecting Kevin to either meet us here at your place or at Dan's. We didn't know which one he was gonna do. So, real quick in Dan's driveway, I drop my float bowl, I get in there with the air and stuff, and I clean everything up so it's not pissing fuel all over the place. Fix that. And we call Kevin, like, hey, what are you doing? Like, are you going to meet us here or there? Dude is still in bed. Yeah. You can hear, like, hello? Oh, yeah,
Kids
man, I'm
these
just
days.
getting, I'll get up. I'll just, oh, no, wait for me. I'm coming. Hangs up. We're like, Jesus, dude. So, yeah.
Bruh. If you catch me
He's
in
a
bed
leaf in
at
he's
like
a leaf in the
9
wind, though.
or 10,
He's a leaf in the wind.
Yeah.
We all made it.
I'm in a hospital bed. If I'm in a bed at 10 o'clock a.m., I'm in a hospital bed. I'm dying. Yeah. But I guess that's how you get built like Jack Stellers. You just don't. I'm giving him a lot of shit because he couldn't make it tonight.
He's deeply missed.
Yeah, he's actually kind of bummed out. He wants to make every night.
He's got a lot of work to do.
Oh, yeah. He had a monster day today.
He's like redoing the floors in his like laundry room or some shit.
Yeah.
Something that someone says when they don't want to go to something. I don't know.
Yeah. What's up with that, Dan?
Poor kid. I asked if he needed a hand. He said no because he says no to that. You know.
Yeah. No, he's been like, he wants to make it every week.
Yeah.
But he initially, he's like, yeah, I can commit to once a month. But then we did 2 last week.
Yeah. No, I think he just didn't want to like overpromise and underdeliver.
Oh, yeah.
And he's got the full family dad life at home too, so
yeah, he's still got a little baby, Yeah,
not anymore. This girl's running that house now.
Yeah, I know,
can't
but
believe
like,
how much she's grown up.
You're not like it takes. Kids aren't like able to get themselves food and shit until they're like fucking 5.
I know. As their hand, they are a handful.
Yeah, it's tough. Oh, but the other thing I wanted to bring up too was I'm going solo on this.
Ooh.
The Lowlife leftovers. December 14th.
Yes, that's what you said. And that's it.
I was like, is it the 16th or 14th? It's
14th.
a Saturday. Don't show up on a Tuesday.
Yeah, it's on my phone.
At noon. The Lowlife leftovers. Make it out. It's going to be chill as fuck. We're just going to be hanging out in the garage. We're going to be playing Stump. I can't wait to play some Stump. We're going to be playing some CeeLo. We're going to be making some motherfucking money. I'm going to have a bum barrel. I'm going to be getting shit-faced. I might even fucking go like cocktail and shit like Tom Cruise. Mix up some drinks. Hit me up if you want the Addy, dude. Everybody's invited. It's just going to be a chill little potluck with a bunch of fucking scumbags. And hopefully, I mean, it's early enough. I'm doing a nooner, dude. I'm a day drinker. So we're going to be, if you have shit to do, you have a Christmas party or fucking something to go, come get liquored up before your Christmas party. Have the wife drive.
There you go.
Yeah. All right, we got to do a buddy check. You like the buddy check?
Yeah, I've been doing the buddy check.
You've been doing the buddy check?
Yeah, I didn't text him and be like, "Hey, buddy check, are you still alive?"
Oh yeah.
I would just be like, "Hey, man, what's up? I haven't talked to you in a while." And I've reached out to a couple people, including actually yesterday was Dead Kev, because I hadn't heard from him in a minute, and we all know his story, so I want to make sure he was all right. And then Astroman, reached out to him.
Oh, fuck yeah.
You know, and I hadn't talked to him so long.
I haven't talked to him in a long time.
He's moved. He's moved from, like, still in New Hampshire, but, like, you know, I didn't know he got a new place yet and stuff. So
yeah, this time of year too, it's like once the bikes go away, you know, like you're not going to a bunch of shows together. You don't see these people like
not
at
often.
nights and
No,
shit, you know.
No, it's rough. You always try to make it a point to, like, reach out. You know, I always have, but yeah, I love the buddy check thing. I think it's great.
Yeah, if you have a buddy, you got to have at least one buddy. You got to check on them. You know what I mean? And if you don't have any buddies, you know, reach out to me. I'm happy to talk. Just be like, hey, what's going on, man? If you just need someone to talk to, I mean, that's all it takes.
Yeah.
This time of year, too, especially in the Northeast. Well, I guess I don't know how it is. I think it gets cold everywhere, right? So, like, people in Florida have, like, seasonal depression because it gets to be, like, 60 degrees or whatever.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, my God, it's so chilly.
Yeah, their lows are highs.
Yeah. Dude, I remember when I was living in Florida, motherfuckers would be wearing winter jackets and shit in December.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, it's still t-shirt weather, you know.
Bougie Billy was commented on something the other day. He DM'd me. And he was like, yeah, I would have been out riding, but we had this, like, wicked cold front come through, and it dropped down to 60. And I was like, dog, I rode the other day because it jumped up to 60.
Yeah.
We're not the same people. Like,
dude, Bougie Billy, we got to have him on again soon, too, because he's a fucking barrel of monkeys, dude.
Oh, he's great, dude. I remember Dan was texting me, and I was going to try and swing by his place after work one day. And I had no idea that he was up north. And I was like, oh, hey, man, it's been a long day. I don't think I can make it over. And then he just sends me a picture of fucking Bougie Billy in his garage with a frowny face. And I was like, oh, shit, I'm on my way. And Dan's like, oh, so you come over for him. I'm like, fuck yeah. Yeah. But yeah, he's building a pretty cool bike too. He's doing like a Florida man kind of chopper, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, he has all sorts of cool shit. He won a fucking sick ass Springer. I think it was Northern Springers.
I didn't know. No.
Yeah, he is a fucking really nice friend.
That's fucking dope.
Yeah. So
Lowlifes near and far.
Yeah, dude. We're fucking international, man. I got fucking dude, England, you slipping into third place, bro. You're like a point behind fucking New Zealand now. You gonna let that happen?
Maybe if I talk about more Triumph shit, we'll get some.
Dude, actually, I think you English guys, you like Triumphs? Huh?
They like Harleys. They hate their own bikes. Oh. No, I love.
They can't have Harleys. Their engines are too big.
Yeah. Triumphs are the shit.
Yeah, I've never been. I should. It's not even something I've ever even considered.
Well, the Triumph, it's funny because, like, the Triumph chopper is like I like how Big Truth kind of put it. He's like, the Triumph chopper is like the punk rock kid of the choppers, because even like within the chopper community, everyone's like, you know, it's like pan, shovel. It's like Triumph chop is like, you know, it's what really kind of started it, you know, because these bikes were so ridiculously cheap back then. No one could have, you know, if you couldn't afford a Harley, you could afford a Triumph, you know, and they were super easy to chop up. They're fast, you know, like they're not going to be top end on the highway, you know, like you know, like a pan or a shovel head or even an Evo, but like they're quick little bikes. They'll keep up with any Sportster, you know, dare I say, might even pull one off the line, you know, and yeah, I think that they're really cool because, like, you watch all those old, like, biker films, you know, all the old, like, Hell's Angels, like, films are all on YouTube now, you know, like, not your Easy Rider shit, but the stuff that, like,
like Angels from Hell, like
the campy shit, you know, but, like, all those bikes, you look at them, and it's old Knucks and Triumphs, you know, so it's just like you know, the Triumph chopper is like, I think one of like the pinnacle choppers for me. Like, I hold it high up on the mantle, you know, over a lot
Mm-hmm.
for being essentially like, I don't know, lack of a better term, kind of like a beginner bike, you know, 'cause it is a small displacement and they're light and they're easy to kick over. They kick over so fucking easy. I still think that they're, you know, I think they're cooler than like an Evo Chop. To me, I don't know. It's because the dates are right, you know, like it's an old bike, and then if you chop it up, I think it's that much better.
It's definitely a fucking niche. I mean, the problem with the Triumphs now is that they're coveted. You know, there's old Triumph dudes that have old Triumph money.
Yeah,
and they're kind of in the, you know, if you want to get a clapped out piece of shit, you're got a couple of bands.
Yeah,
to get into it, and then you have to buy the fucking tools.
Yeah,
to work on it.
Not. Dude, you'd be surprised. Like,
really?
Well, there's like the Whitworth size, which is like it's not metric, it's not standard, it's Whitworth.
But will a standard like turn it?
A metric would turn it. A metric wrench would turn it.
Yeah,
like just fine. There's still a few pieces of hardware left on mine, like the brake drums and stuff like that. But like the bolts that hold the cases together are metric. You know, like So once in a while, you just come across, like, especially with the old Triumph chops, you know, because there's been so much like back and forth hardware being swapped out and parts. You know, you'll have predominantly just a bunch of standard bolts at some point, but there's other things that are specific to, like, you know, the motor mounts and stuff like that that have to stay metric.
All right, so like the head of the bolt, you need a special wrench. But what about the pitch of the thread?
The pitch of the thread is, believe metric.
It is metric?
I think so.
Okay. I hadn't thought about that before.
I don't think I ran into any issues with it to worry about the thread pitch.
If you had to get a bolt, because it was broken or whatever.
Yeah. Thread pitch is important because you have coarse thread and you have fine thread, and then you have metric coarse thread, then you have metric fine thread, and all those are measured out very differently.
Yeah.
If you put the wrong one on the wrong one, like, you're gonna tear something up like real quick. So that's why I love my little nut bolt gauge that has like the little thread counter on the back of it from Lowbrow. I think it's like $5 or $10. Such a handy little tool.
Oh, the little plastic one. Mm-hmm. I bought one off eBay that they have in the hardware store.
Oh yeah, you can actually like screw stuff onto it.
They have
those are dope. Yeah. This one's nice because I hang it from my wall with like a tack.
Yeah.
Like a safety tack, and I just
have mine bolted on the front of my bench. So if I ever need it, I'm like, is this coarse or fine? I can't see.
Yeah.
I can't see it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's dope, dude. They have them, they sell them. It's like a big, like metal chain or whatever, and then they have all the different sizes like on this chain that you can just kind of go through. But I like it, the one, like, because when I go to the hardware store and do it, and I'm like, I'll have a bolt in my pocket, and I'm like, I don't know what the fuck this is, and I just go and thread it on, and I'm like, oh, that's what it is.
I like the ones that come in like tap and die sets, but they fold out almost like depth gauges, or like spacer gauge, because those ones work really well if you're trying to count threads, so you know what bolt size to get or nut or whatever.
I need a recommendation on a good tap and die set because I blow through those motherfuckers. Yeah.
You can't go wrong with the tolerance. I personally think, and I have a lot of Harbor Freight stuff. Snap-on is obviously the pinnacle of like everyone's favorite, you know, garage tool. You know, the bragging rights. You know, you're buying into the name. But I repaired a lot of bolts and threads and stuff with the Craftsman sets, like working in the Army, because that's what they issued us, was Craftsman at the time. Now the government's moved on to Snap-on, but it was Craftsman.
The government's using my tax dollars for Snap-on tools.
Yeah, baby.
You fucking kidding me?
Nope. I mean, you think about it though. It's not just for like your wheel vehicle mechanics. You got to think like you're like helicopter mechanics and aircraft mechanics, you want to give them the best because
Yeah, okay.
you don't want those falling out of the sky. But anyway, the tolerances of like the Craftsman and Milwaukee tap and die sets are fine, and they're a fraction of the price of the Snap-on. What I've ran into with the Harbor Freight like tap and die sets is like the cuts on a lot of those like thread blades that are meant to like clean your threads or cut your threads are shit. And you just end up with like these really horrible threads. And I've used them and they'll get you by and it's fine for backyard shit. But if you want a good tap and like either Craftsman or Milwaukee, I think is that good middle shelf tap and die set where the quality is nice. They're sharp. The steel's strong enough that you're not going to have to worry about snapping them too much. But you don't have to go Snap-on. But I mean, even Milwaukee shit has lifetime warranties, you know, like Snap-on love to brag about, oh, you break this 50-year-old Snap-on tool, you can get a new one. More often than not, people just buy a new one anyway. But
yeah, the thing is, the big thing for me is going to be getting one that can cut through stainless.
Stainless is tough.
Anything working with stainless, like I get like now I don't even fuck around with the drill bits and shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, because I work, once you start working with stainless, it's like,
yeah,
you need like top of the line shit.
You need, yeah, I mean, you got to get the good stuff. Like you get what you pay for when it comes to, you know, cutting and, you know, tap and die sets and stuff. Big one too is like what helps me out with these cheap sets I buy is applying a lot of heat, a lot of oil to what I'm cutting into. So when I did the bolt holes for the sissy bar on my axle plate on the Triumph, the axle plate was like flat, straight. There was no hole or anything for a sissy bar tab. And I didn't want to do like a lock nut on the back of it with a bolt going through. Yeah. I wanted to thread it because that's what I did to faux hammer and not having to worry about how big.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's just, I think it looks cleaner.
Well, also, there's like you run into interference issues if you have like a bolt on the back. You have to like shave it down.
Yep. So, I applied crap ton of heat, and my taps I dipped in oil. What I would do is I'd take some of my motor oil and just pour it in my cap, and I'd dip my tap into the cap, and then start to thread.
It makes a huge difference. Like going slow, and I actually have tapping fluid, which is oil. But, you know. Tapping fluid and then going in and then backing it out, going in, backing it out.
Yeah, you got to cut a little bit of material and then spin it back like 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
And then go back and then cut a little more, then spin backwards again. You
some machinist tools though, like when someone has a Bridgeport that just has a tap.
Yeah.
It's like,
watching people do that is like terrifying. I've seen a lot of taps get snapped.
Oh yeah,
because people aren't taking their time. They're trying to rush it too fast.
I've snapped 100 taps.
Snapped 1,000,000. Sucks.
It's so annoying too because then you have to get it out.
Yeah, and then usually what you're working with is mild steel, and the tap is hardened steel, so you're trying to drill it out. It sucks.
Oh yeah. No bueno.
I'm always like terrified that when I get to that, like like when you're like you can
almost feel it.
Yeah, you're tightening a bolt and you're just like, oh, I don't want to do it anymore because you can almost feel the tension in your hand. Like this is gonna snap.
You go, if I give it one more ooga dooga, this thing's gonna fucking snap, or it's gonna cross thread or whatever the fuck it is. You know when you've gone too far.
When you're doing, I like the Harbor Freight tap and die sets. More or less, I use to clean up pre-existing threads. Getting out like the old red Loctite from like risers or something like that. Like they're perfect for that.
Yeah.
I have used them to actually drill threads into steel, and it's scary.
Oh yeah,
it works. The bigger the tap, though, the easier it is. Like if you got those really thin little taps, and you're something for like a 1 or like 1/4 inch bolt, like those can snap so easy.
Yeah, same thing with like the drill bits and shit.
Yeah,
but one really helpful thing I have is lowbrow. I don't know when the fuck I got it, but there's a sheet for like the drill size versus tap size.
Yes, because that matters.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Because that can fuck you up. Because next thing you know, you've tapped your hole too big for the bolt you're going into.
Yeah. And actually, I'll say, like, I get a lot of my taps from the hardware store, you know, because I'm like, okay, I need to do this with this pitch. And Irwin, they sell the tap and the drill bit together.
See, that's dope.
They're all weird sizes, like 15 64ths or whatever. And
it's nice when you can just buy the one tap and not have to buy a whole
Mm.
set of tap and dies. Yeah. Because you just need that 1 3/8 by 18-inch pitch thread. And you're just like, I just need that one fucking tap and I have to buy this whole kit.
Yeah.
It sucks.
Yeah. And the other thing about tapping is, like, the hardest part is getting it started and making sure you're fucking dead nuts straight in that fucker.
Yeah.
Because if you go in at a slight angle, you're fucked.
The bolt's and then the bolt you put in is angled.
And then once you get it started, it just goes slow, lots of lube, kind of like
oil
date night,
the shit out of it.
Yeah, you gotta oil the shit out of it. But you know what? You don't have to oil the shit out of these sponsors.
They're pre-lube.
Up first, we got Steve over at Deadbeat Customs. Steve's all about grassroots motorcycle riders. Take it upon themselves to build and customize their bike. They offer parts for all Harley-Davidson models and also offer custom parts for choppers, bobbers, trackers, and cafe racers. When it comes to building custom motorcycles, they carry the best brands available. Go visit their brick and mortar store in Tewksbury, Mass, or at deadbeatcustoms.com. Remember to enter code Lowlife at checkout to save some money. Next, we got Lowbrow Customs. Tyler and his team not only work hard to supply motorcycle enthusiasts with cool parts from small shops all around the world for over 20 years, but they also keep innovating and creating new parts and accessories, getting them out on the road. They are the #1 source for custom and chopper parts for your motorcycle. Go visit lowbrowcustoms.com. Next, we got Stay Strong Co. John Luke has been sent down from the heavens to bless us lowlifes with the greatest hot sauce on this mortal plane. Sweet heat baby Jesus in the white pants heralds a message from God himself. Don't put this on your butthole. It's for your mouth. The shits, and the hotter than hellfire Lowlife chopper sauce. Go to staystrongco.org today and grab yourself the holy trinity of hot sauces. Next, we got Oxford Code Choppers. Chris, the original bad boy bombaclat from Oxford, Connecticut. Frame restoration and repair, handlebars and hardtails, hard parts for hard men. His hardtails are TIG welded and installed in-house. Made from USA-made steel, he is your man for the hardest shit to hit the East Coast since Hurricane Bob. Find him on Instagram at oxfordco.choppers. Thank you for tuning in and listening to our sponsors. Go support them because they support you. Where else are you going to get all this fucking cool shit? Now we got to do some CeeLo. Do you have any ones?
I do.
Pony up.
You got CeeLo vision?
Oh, fuck. My wallet. Give me one of Dan's ones. I owe you, Dan. I'll do a $5 game. It's not my money. I'll pay you back. I owe you, buddy. I think we're going to zoom in on the CeeLo board. Compliments of burnt up wood burning. And here's another thing I was thinking. If you want to send some stickies, look at this. I'll put them inside the CeeLo board. This is Born Again Choppers because he provided the dice. But if you have some slappers, dude, send them our way because we have to censor this stuff for YouTube. All right. I'll guess go first. You can go first. Two. All right. I'm going to be able to afford to pay Dan back now. 6. All right. I'll take the Finsky, put that back in Dan's. Thank you, Dan.
Coffee right there.
Fuck yeah. Now I got some gambling money. He wins every goddamn week.
I got to save some for the leftovers.
Oh yeah, the Lowlife leftovers, dude. That's coming up quick, man. Couple weeks.
Bring your ones.
3 weeks.
There won't be any leftovers by then, but I'll bring something.
Yeah. We'll have fun. I'm gonna make something fucking will knock your cotton socks off.
Spicy? I need something spicy.
I like spicy. It's that time of year. It's cold. You eat something spicy, warms your cheeks. And it's also officially, now when you guys are listening to this, it's officially eggnog season.
Oh, yeah. Some people don't fuck with the eggnog, though.
Have you ever had the Malort?
Oh, no, I haven't.
You haven't had the Malort?
I have not.
You want to take a little taste? I know you're on a thing. You're kind of dry right now, but you want to take a little taste?
I am going dry. Yeah, I'll try for flavor.
For flavor, it's very low alcohol.
So
there's the bottle. You gotta pull right off the bottle. And we gotta get that Malort face. So look right at the camera when you taste it. It's not gonna taste like apple pie moonshine.
So I've heard a lot about this, not just from you, but it doesn't smell like anything.
Yeah, dude. It tastes like something though. It tastes like Chicago.
Dude, that tastes like nail polish remover with like an aftertaste of asbestos.
I gotta do it. I gotta remind myself every once in a while.
It's not good.
It has like no smell. Doesn't smell like anything.
No, it doesn't smell like anything at all. Doesn't smell like whiskey. Doesn't smell like.
But it certainly tastes like something.
Right? Do you get that nail polish remover kind of taste?
I do.
Maybe like a mix of like spray paint.
I think it tastes like whatever you say. Like paint. Tastes like paint.
Yeah.
It's so fucking bad.
It's like a Dementor. Like it turns into whatever you're afraid of.
What is that? Is that a Harry Potter
That's
thing?
a Harry Potter thing,
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've never seen Harry Potter.
It's great.
My daughter just went to a Harry Potter birthday party, though. So
oh, yeah.
I picked up on some of the...
Well, now I can say I've had Malort.
Are you a better man for it?
Maybe experienced. I don't think I'm a better person.
Well, you can't get pulled over if you drink Malort. The cop's not going to be like, I smell alcohol. He's going to be like, what the fuck do I smell?
Yeah. What do I smell? Paint stripper.
Yeah. Have you been huffing gold paint?
Dude. Yeah, that's not a very good taste. I could see why it survived Prohibition. Because no one was like, we don't have to worry about outlawing this.
I got this bottle fucking like 6 months or a year ago. Yeah.
It hasn't gotten better with age, has it? It's not like a wine.
One little pull is enough.
Yeah, that's a flavor.
Oh yeah.
My general manager at work, when it was my birthday, he gave me a bottle of my newest favorite like Scotch whiskey, called Dalwhinnie. Ever heard of it?
I've heard of it.
Holy shit!
I don't know if I've ever had it.
So for a while, my favorite like sipper whiskey was this Irish whiskey called Green Spot. It was really good. It's like run you like $60-$65. Like it's not like a top shelf, but not bottom either. Second to top shelf. That one was my go-to like daily sipper every night. Like easy, could easily have one. Not really like, mess you up. Just a nice smooth end of day sipper. Then my boss got me this one, Dalwhinnie, and I can only describe it. It's like sipping sunshine dipped in honey. You see that on the shelf next time you go to the New Hampshire State Liquor Store.
Scotch whiskey?
It's a Scotch whiskey. You're gonna find it in the Scotch section.
Okay.
Yeah, and I only remember the name of it because of Winnie, and it's like Winnipesaukee. Like so Dalwhinnie. And dude, it is the most delicious fucking Scotch I've ever had in my life. I'm really looking forward to, because I'm trying to go dry until the end of the New Year's.
How long has it been?
So September 1st.
September through December. Through December.
So September 1st through Yeah, to the new year.
No shit.
My wife is going dry, so I'm gonna go dry with her to support.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did that for just a taste test.
I mean, yeah, it's not gonna fuck you up.
But
I think we could drink the rest of that bottle and I wouldn't feel a tingle in my balls.
I don't ever want to drink that again. That was awful. That was not
so bad.
Like,
it's really bad.
I'd rather, yeah.
It's not even like, dude, it's hard to explain because it's like a flavor that you've never tasted.
It tastes like chemical to me.
Yeah, and you will never taste it again.
Like it didn't taste like a distilled spirit. Like it tasted like this is what I put on like a bumper to strip the chrome off.
Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah. Like sometimes I'll get a little like red Loctite in my mouth and I'll be like,
yeah.
It tastes kind of good.
Dude, I've gotten brake clean in my mouth. That's pretty close. That's pretty close.
Brake clean?
Yeah. Yeah. That's pretty close.
I accidentally sprayed myself in the face with starter fluid yesterday.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Is it like kind of like that?
It's like ether. I got like a little bit high and then it was like soaked into my hoodie and I was like, hey, this is fucking pretty good. I think Papa found a brand new bag.
Fucking magic carpet ride, babe.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, ether, babe.
That's the good.
Pass me the rag.
That's the good.
Yeah. Fuck, dude. Well, thank you so much for coming on. And thank you for coming out.
I had fun.
I had fun too.
Yeah.
We always have fun together.
It was good.
Yeah. And we'll have you on again when after the new year, when you're drinking again.
Do another round table.
I'd love, as soon as, dude, I can confidently do 2 people, but I'd love to be able to do at least 4 in person.
Oh, the podcast.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, what's the round table?
Oh no, I'm talking about the podcast.
Oh, okay.
I was thinking I was trying to make a sexual joke.
Oh,
I just went.
I've had a couple of
right
over
here. I know. I've been watching you drink those, and I'm like, this coffee's good. I like this coffee. No, honestly, since I stopped drinking temporarily, lost like 15 pounds. Like, it's pretty cool. And I haven't done anything like as far as like my diet and like exercise.
Yeah.
I just stopped drinking. So it's kind of cool. Like, pack a lot of weight when you don't realize, like as you consume alcohol.
Yeah.
Like you just start packing on pounds. You don't really notice. I didn't until.
Well, you get all fucking swollen and shit too, you know?
Yeah.
You're just like retaining water like you're pregnant.
Yeah. So that was pretty cool. That's been the most defining, like, different thing I've noticed, you know? And yeah, I was like, you know, trying to break the habit of like drinking like fucking either like 3 or 4 Modelo's or 3 or 4 Twisted Teas every night when I get home.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
I only drink beer on the podcast.
Really?
Yeah. I don't drink beer during the week.
I was drinking like every day when I go home. It's like started to become more of a muscle memory habit than an actual like I want this.
Mm-hmm.
Like it started just becoming like second nature.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, I shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
That's bad. So
it's hard to.
Yeah.
I'm a tequila guy during the week.
Yeah.
I
tequila does not last long in my house, and unfortunately I like good tequila. So
yeah, I can't afford good tequila. I think my favorite like tequila, which I think is better than like, dude, I've had Casamigos, I've had like, you know, like a good price point is Milagro.
Yeah.
For a really delicious tequila.
Yep.
If you're drinking it straight, like or on the rocks.
Do you prefer gold or silvers?
I like silvers.
I'm gold.
You like the gold?
Yeah. Yeah. Like so Jose Cuervo gold is my go-to.
Yeah, Jose Cuervo is great.
And then Patron.
Patron is great.
It's either going to be one or those two. It's like it's kind of a coin toss.
Yeah.
And then
but then you're in like the $50 range for like the bottle.
Yeah, and then like and especially if you like mix it with stuff.
Yeah.
So I mix it. I told you about this one. I mix it with lemonade. because it makes like a fake margarita almost. It's like to get that sour
Yeah.
with the tequila. It's perfect.
Dude, margarita is the only mixed drink I really fuck with. Like, I love an old fashioned, love a margarita, but I can't make a margarita that tastes good.
Yeah, I can't make them either.
But I've been to places where they'll like tell me what they do, and I can't make it the same as them.
Yeah. Well, I'll do 2 shots of tequila, and then I'll just fill the rest of the glass, whatever glass I'm using. I'll just fill the rest of it with the ice and like pink lemonade.
Yeah.
Comes out perfect, and it tastes like a margarita.
Yeah.
And they're just really easy to make quick.
The thing is, like with me, I don't like sour.
Oh,
like,
really?
Yeah, the margaritas, like if I go to a Mexican place and it's like super sour margarita, I can't fucking stand it. I want it to taste like more on the sweet side, and then I want to be able to taste the booze too.
Like whiskey sours are like one of my favorite things to get out. If I'm not like ordering a beer, I might order something like a mixed drink at a bar or something. I get a whiskey sour.
Yeah.
My wife likes whiskey sours too, but she's more of a rum. So she's like rum runners, stuff like that.
Okay.
But yeah, like rum doesn't last long in our house.
You know what time?
Because her and I.
Chinese food restaurants, Mai Tai is my thing.
Yeah.
And actually, the best Chinese food. Have you ever been to Sampan?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think they're like a step above any Chinese food restaurant I've ever been to.
Yeah.
And they have a spice.
They've been around a long time.
What is it? The Devil's Mai Tai or something?
Yeah.
Or the Evil Mai Tai, and it's spicy.
Yep.
And it has 151 on top.
Yeah, it's got that little bit of pepper in there.
It's fucking good, dude.
When I moved to this area back in '99, that the Sampan was there.
Oh yeah,
it's still there.
Yeah,
yeah.
It's a little bit better than, like, if you go to any Chinese food restaurant, you're like, yeah, it's Chinese food. It's pretty good. It's like one step above.
Yeah, they do a good job over there. They always have. Like, it was always one step above like your average takeout place.
You're just like, you eat like the beef teriyaki or whatever, and you're like, this is enjoyable.
Yeah,
it's not just like meat on a stick.
Yeah, it's good.
I was thinking about like the roller meat. You should start your own like Michelin star thing, like a fish star thing.
Oh,
just for gas station roller meat.
I know. I could really be like a connoisseur of.
Yeah. Well, you could help people out.
Your gas station.
Yeah.
Culinary.
And what is it? Circle K is the best? I
think Circle K is the best. Especially like if you get there. Jesus, wow, I'm pathetic. And if you get there from like 11:30 to like 1, they have their barbecue rib sandwiches. And it's like a McRib.
Barbecue rib sandwich?
Yeah, it's like a McRib, basically. So it's like,
They put pickles on it?
No pickles. It's just literally the bun and a barbecue.
Pickles don't belong on sandwiches.
McRib patty. Those are good. Those go down real easy.
Yeah.
I could eat 100 of those things.
Bro, next time we find ourselves in Rhode Island, we're going to go get some gaggers. They're hot dogs.
I'd be down.
With like minced meat on top.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
See, that sounds wicked good.
Yeah.
I love hot dogs.
Yeah.
Hot dogs is like one of my favorite
But they like roll them up and they're all like soggy, and you have to get at least 3.
Yeah.
Like, because you're not going to be full.
Oh.
And then they come with a bunch of French fries and shit.
Yeah. I feel like I could eat like probably like 7 or 8 hot dogs.
I could eat
in one
7
sitting.
of these, no problem.
Really?
Yeah. Without even thinking about it.
We do a lot of corn dogs in the house too.
Corn dogs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ever since we bought our air fryer.
I don't have one.
You should.
Yeah.
You should. If you like food, and if you like food like the way I like food, which is like the food that's like not good for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, the air fryer is the way to go. I do the taquitos in the air fryer, like those microwave burritos you get like a bag of like 12 or 18 of them for like $5.
I'm listening.
Those in the air fryer are fucking money. Everything.
So you can just put anything in the air fryer like that you would normally put in the oven or microwave.
Yeah. 10 times better.
Yeah.
When
any kind of frozen food like that, it's dog shit in the microwave, and then it takes way too long in the oven.
If you've got like a whole thing of like French fries from the night before,
oh, there you go.
Those in the air fryer, they come back to life like awesome. Yeah. It's a game changer. But yeah, the corn dogs in the air fryer, it's like crispy, crunchy outside, and then just perfectly cooked hot dog.
What are you putting on a corn dog? You eat it raw?
So I like to put mustard or barbecue sauce. My kids do the ketchup because ketchup goes on everything when you're a kid. But
Are you dipping it, or are you putting it and laying it down?
I lay it down.
You lay it down.
Yeah, I give a little like like the little drizzle swirl.
Yeah,
I try to
squiggly line.
I try to make my food look as much like the like a picture would.
Yeah, like when you go up to the corn dog place that has a little squiggle of ketchup on it.
I try to make it look like that because in my mind it makes it taste better.
I'm a dunker, dude. I dunk that shit.
Dunkin's good too.
I dunk my corn dogs. You catch me at a fair?
Yeah. See, what's nice about
dipping sauce, bro.
So what's nice about fair corn dogs is more often than not they're bigger.
Oh, they're so nice.
They're deep fried.
Yeah.
They put them in the fucking hot oil.
Oh yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah. So, like we found a way to make this more unhealthy than ours.
All the good stuff is though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I only get one lap, baby. Got to throw some corn dogs. All right, guys, we're going to shut it down because this is the longest episode we've ever done. Thanks again to Fish for coming out. Always a fucking blast.
Thanks
but until next week, Low Lives, roll the dice. Get in trouble. Have fun.